On today's episode of Homeworthy, we're celebrating Valentine's Day with a mix of heartfelt gatherings and creative home decor. First, we'll visit a Bakersfield apartment styled for a Galentine's gathering, blending maximalist and grandmillennial decor for a lively atmosphere. Next, jewelry designer Cher Beall hosts her annual Galentine's party, where friends enjoy champagne, candle painting, and fun. Then we'll see Ruth McKeaney's surprise Valentine's Day scavenger hunt, complete with a cozy homemade feast. Afterward, interior designer Cher Beall shares her whimsical Valentine's Day decor and easy DIY gift ideas. Finally, we'll join Homeworthy host Terri Matthews Woodall in Atlanta for a heartfelt chat with her sister. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hey Homeworthy, I'm Jess Drury. We are here in Bakersfield, California, my hometown, and today I'm gonna show you around my apartment, so come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
I'm Jess Drury, and I am founder of the wine brand Whiny Baby. We are here in Bakersfield, California, my hometown. I am super passionate about the fact that the suburbs are on the up and up. I was living in LA and decided to move back to my hometown. And one of the many perks of that is that I got to move into a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment all to myself, which has been kind of the canvas for exploring and really getting to decorate an apartment for the first time in my life. As a young entrepreneur, I have been moving a ton and even moved back in with my mom to save money. And in May of this year, I moved into this apartment and finally got to start decorating. I've always wanted to decorate a space, but just haven't been able to because, you know, in your early 20s, you're just like running around trying to figure stuff out. So I was like, it was all in me and I was just ready to go. So picking this apartment was thankfully pretty easy. Bakersfield is a little bit of a small town and this apartment complex is a little bit newer. And one of the many things I love about living in my hometown is that I live in this apartment complex with like 6 of my friends, and throughout the week we pop in and drop off leftovers for each other. We have book club, we'll get each other's mail if we're out of town. And I think that our generation has unfortunately lost a lot of the neighborly community aspects that once were, and I hope we bring it back. So Homeworthy is here today as I am preparing for my best friends to come over in a little bit. Today I am hosting a Galentine's get-together. I am super passionate about hosting, and if you have not read the book, The Art of Gathering, it is like, I have read that book through and through so many times, and there's such amazing tips, but for me, everything is about creating a one-of-a-kind experience. And just like my wine brand, I reimagine how to do things, and you know, there's no way that things have to be done. And so you'll see as I take you through the house that I've set up all sorts of different moments, and I think that the best advice for hosting is you're kind of like a conductor. It is your job to set the tone and set the rules. And it sounds cheesy, it sounds silly, but I really believe it. When someone walks into your home or an event that you're hosting, they're walking into the world that you created. And it's your job to set rules, to give them communication on what they should do. So when your guests, you know, walk through the door, I like to always have a little moment where it's really clear to them, here, grab this glass because we're gonna start with a little bubbly. Or at at the table, you know, I always have name settings to make it easy and clarify to people, you know, where they should sit. And I always try to have different activities. And yeah, so today we are having our Galentines, and I'm excited to take you around and show you all the fun things that I have in store. All right, Homeworthy, we are here in my apartment entryway. And like I've said, I really believe that every single space is a moment to make special. And I think that entryways are moments that often get overlooked, but there's so much opportunity in them. So first things first, whenever I'm hosting and I have guests over, I always like for them to walk in, they can put their stuff in this closet, which no need to go in there, but right away, my friends know that they can head over to the wine glass wall and pick out a wine glass. And I love wine glasses that are different colors because it's easy to tell whose glass is who. I think that wine charms are totally coming back in 2025. So I have some fun wine charms that I'll show you in a bit. But I think it's so fun for people to just come in and immediately know the vibe is to put your stuff down, kick off your shoes, grab a glass, because in my apartment, we are always drinking wine, that's for sure. So this piece that we have right here is super special to me because this is another young female entrepreneur artist, and she didn't even know about Whiny Baby, and she posted some of her work on TikTok, and a friend of mine saw it and sent it to me. And so I reached out to her. She was kind enough to give me this print. And of course I sent her some Whiny Baby. But you'll see a theme throughout the apartment that I love artwork, and everything for me is a mix of high and lows, right? I am only 27. I'm not working on a big budget, but I think that true taste is when you have to make something great of not a lot. And I actually think that a big budget and money sometimes inhibits people from getting really creative. So this piece is super special to me, and you'll see throughout the apartment, I've got a mix of Etsy finds, you know, everything from something you could maybe find at Target and Home Goods, but you'll also find commissioned pieces from artists I've found. You'll find thrifted pieces from antique stores. So again, for me, it's all about mixing the high and the low. So I got a little ahead of myself. So for today, we are having our Galentines, and I love setting up a little moment like this. It also helps when you're hosting so that you don't have to constantly be shuffling and refilling drinks. For me, when you are in my apartment, you will never have an empty glass and you will never have an empty stomach. So right away, when the girls walk in, they are gonna have their glass of Whiny Baby, slightly frizzante. This isn't a full sparkling wine, but it has just a kiss of bubbles, which is perfect for our romantic, fun, girly Galentines. So, Homeworthy, you are my guest today as I take you through the Galentines. So let's kick it off with a little bubbly. So, time to move on to my plate wall. So this is a new addition for me, but I'm really, really excited about it. I heard, it's so funny, nowadays you say like, I read this article. I actually think it was a TikTok video recapping an article, but it was about how fast fashion is kind of ruining the whole concept of wardrobes that we hold on to. And people were talking about how when you're a little girl and you get to go through your mom or your grandma's closet and they have pieces that they've kept for years and years. And I'm a super sentimental person. I'm all about keepsakes and special moments. And that of course shines through in Whiny Baby. It shines through in my apartment and really everything I do. And so I started doing this plate wall, and actually this is kind of fun as well. I think single people, I'm not single, but I'm not married, and a lot of my friends are married. And you get to make these beautiful registries. And I always love looking at like the fabulous plates from Neiman Marcus and Bloomingdale's, but in no world can I afford a full set of these fabulous plates. So what's fun about the plate wall is if I see a plate I love, I can afford it because I'm just buying one. But what's special about the plate wall is people have started giving them as gifts to me, and I've started looking for plates everywhere that I travel. It's a true collectible and something I can take with me into the next home I go into. And hopefully one day it's a keepsake that I pass along to my kids and my family. There's tons of fun ones. I think I always change what my favorites are. I think my favorite one right now is this little guy that says Sweet Spot, and he kind of looks like my boyfriend with a mustache. So I'm in a long distance relationship, so the little reminders are nice, but that is my plate wall. One quick mention is, again, with the high and lows, I think that it's so easy now to slightly enhance things just by customizing them. So I found these at HomeGoods, but they had really tall white stained wood that I just felt didn't go really with that more classic style. When I really love dark washed wood. And so I just found these wood legs on Amazon and I swapped them out, and I just think it's so important to mix and match, and it's so fun to curate things and really, really make them your own. I have always been, a super hard worker, super career driven, but I by no means growing up was one of those people who was dead set on, I am meant to be an entrepreneur. I was living in LA working at Red Bull. I didn't know it at the time, but Red Bull's the greatest beverage marketer of our generation, and it was really priming me for launching my wine brand. And how Whiny Baby started was I found myself in a position that I think a lot of other people find themselves in. I had a first date. I was 22 years old at the time, and he said, I'll cook for you, you bring a bottle of wine. And I stood in the wine aisle and I realized, oh my gosh, I really don't know anything about wine. I don't know what a varietal is. I don't know what bottle to grab right now. And the rest is history. That night, I was more focused on the bottle of wine than I was my date. And I sat there thinking about the natural elements that drinking wine already does. It brings you together, it creates conversation, it makes memories. And so I came up with fun little details like conversation starters underneath each bottle cap, and peel and stick savable back labels to keep all of the memories that you make. And today, I'm 27 years old, and Whiny Baby is on store shelves across the country like Target, Bevmo, Total Wine and more, and we are just getting bigger. And it's pretty crazy to think that it all began because I had an idea and an experience that I knew others had as well, and saw a need for the wine industry to have a bit of innovation and do a better job of speaking to younger consumers and Gen Z. I would say my home decor style is first and foremost maximalist. I think I self-identify as a maximalist, but it is met with a little bit of grandmillennial, and I don't know if this is a home decor style, but a little bit of English countryside. I follow a ton of interior accounts of amazing interior designers that are based in the UK, and a lot of them explore colorful but kind of classic patterns, which I'm super drawn to. It's so hard to pick a favorite room because part of maximalism, or at least the way I express maximalism, is every room, every corner is its own kind of moment, and they're all very different. But surprisingly, I think my favorite room is the one that I didn't even think I was going to decorate. It's my guest bathroom. It's probably my favorite because I did it the most recent, but why I love it so much is I had an extra tight budget on it. I thought that I wasn't even going to decorate it because I had put so much work in the past couple months for the rest of the apartment that I thought I was gonna kind of take a breather. But I thought, you know what? I really, really want this space to kind of match the rest of the apartment and have more life to it. And I super on a budget found amazing peel and stick wallpaper. I went antiquing and found affordable, insane finds. And sure enough, it's become one of my favorite, if not my favorite space now in the house. Now we are going to head into the kitchen/living room. Come with me. All right, we are here at my bar cart situation, and if I'm being honest, I think this is my favorite thing in the entire home. Like I mentioned, I love art, but I really love special, unique art that is really personal to me. So as you can see, should I pour my heart out to him? No, darling, we only pour Whiny Baby. I mean, this is the most iconic, most me painting ever. And the artist is Brett Hammond. What I love so much about it is we sparked a genuine just friendship. I saw his work in Montecito near Santa Barbara, and he had a lot of wine themes to his art, and I followed him on Instagram and we just started talking back and forth. He grew up in wine country, and that's why he has such a connection. He is a big fan of Whiny Baby, and never in a million years did I dream that I could commission a piece from him, but he was kind enough to work with me on this. And I remember thinking, I could buy a handbag, a really nice handbag, or I could buy a piece of art. And for me, I would much rather buy a piece of art. So again, for me, this is something I will have for my whole life. I hope it's something that my kids want someday, and it's just such an iconic statement piece. And I work from home, so I love sitting and taking meetings at my dining room table, and this being the backdrop. It's an amazing conversation starter. And like I said, I think it's so special to have a friendship and really know the artist who made it. It makes it all the more special. So shout out Brett Hammond. You should check out his work. He is amazing. Again, like I said, everything on here is a total mix of high, low gifts that people have given me, and I think that's what makes everything so special. I said in the beginning that I really think a lot of my taste is maximalism, but also a little bit of grandmillennial, traditional, and also a little bit of that English countryside, like I said. So I actually want to talk about this. I spent Christmas this year in London. I met my boyfriend while I was in London, actually filming Gordon Ramsay's Food Stars. You should definitely watch it on Hulu if you haven't. But that is how I met him, and his sister lives in London. So we went and we spent Christmas with her and his family, and she gave this to me, and she found it in the English countryside at a thrift store. And my favorite part is these little tongs that are little chicken legs. So again, I love everything to have a special story. These are really, really special to me. My best friend is getting married this year at the Madonna Inn in San Luis Obispo. Again, iconic. She herself is also a maximalist. And when she asked me to be in her wedding as a bridesmaid, she asked with these gorgeous glasses that are from the Madonna Inn. So many different special things. I want to point out this, who actually my old boss turned amazing friend, Kelly. She was my boss at Red Bull, but I think I mentioned this space is so special to me because in your early 20s, you're just trying to figure it out. Like the last thing you have time for is nesting. And up until this year, I DoorDashed every meal. I didn't live in a decorated space. I just didn't have time for it. And as an entrepreneur, I still don't have a lot of time, but I knew that working from home, having a space like this would only help my work, only make me more inspired. So I have several things that people have given me over the years that I just held on to because I really didn't have a space that I could display and decorate with yet. And so stuff like this was gifted to me when I was 22, and I held on to it, and now I finally get to have it out, and it's just so special. So we've got my fridge, which not super exciting, but again, I feel like every single part of your house is a canvas and open space for you to create and speak and say something. This cracks me up because every time I have people over, and if it hits 9, they check in with me and they're like, can we still stay? Of course they can, but I am kind of a grandma and I really do kind of want people to leave by 9, so it does kind of serve a purpose as well. Admittedly, I normally have this completely covered in pictures, but also Christmas cards. I keep up my Christmas cards year round because I love seeing my friends and family and I want them to be everywhere and it just makes me so happy. I did remove them for this because, I didn't get their sign off to show them. However, I still have really special things up here, postcards that are meaningful to me, and I just think every space should reflect the person who lives there. Everything is high and low, renter friendly. So that means yes, design, but you also need function. So over here, I have these super handy little shelves that are magnetic, just super functional. And then so that's kind of like the low, right? And then the high, if you know about match silver, like one day when I get married, I want my whole registry to be match silver. I think it's so beautiful, so classic. But as we know, it's not really budget friendly. So, while I couldn't afford much, I could afford this super chic little salt holder. And I am a firm believer that everyone needs flaky salt in their kitchen. It makes everything better, but it's also just kind of chic. Like, we'll get to it, but I always try to have cookies in my dessert jar. I did not make them myself. I just, did the pre-frozen ones and pop them in the oven, but sprinkle them with flaky salt, game changer. And people are like, oh my gosh, these are the best cookies ever. I didn't even make them. I just put flaky salt on them. So besides lighting, color, paint patterns being the things that I think transform space, I also think playing with height really helps. So if I'm picking out things, or having florals, playing with height and making things oversized, but then, really petite, I think really adds. So different elements, different heights, different colors and whatnot. This is a super small, silly thing, but I'm very passionate about it. So a Google Home or an Alexa, I'm not playing music right now, but I play music all day long. And when I'm hosting, I have obviously my main hub out here, but in every single room, every single bathroom, every single corner for I think they're like $30. You can get the mini ones and they're all synced. And it's just a small thing that anyone can do that really makes your apartment feel luxurious. When someone goes to the bathroom and in the bathroom, the music that was playing in the living room is still playing in there. It's just those little touches that I really feel transform a space. My beloved Le Creuset. So in Bakersfield, like 30 minutes out of town, we have a Le Creuset outlet. If you are anywhere near a Le Creuset outlet, go, go, go. Picking out your Le Creuset color is something that is almost spiritual. So to me, Le Creuset is something that you will keep for a lifetime and pass on to your kids. And that's just really special to me. So there's little things like that I love to implement that I may have not necessarily had in my life, but I saw friends of mine whose parents had Le Creusets and what color they chose was so special. So I saw that, I thought it was so special. And admittedly, I'm not a very good cook and I've been trying this year to cook a lot more. And thankfully my best friend and my boyfriend are amazing cooks and they told me if you have these two things, you can really cook anything. And so it actually saved me money because with just two things, you can cook most of the things you need. So pick out your Le Creuset color, find an outlet, and slowly collect your colors. It's so fun because they come out with like special items and finding out if it's in your color or not. It's the little things in life, This was an Etsy find and I think it is so gorgeous. That is all that needs to be said. So Etsy, Etsy, Etsy is my favorite. These, again, with the little nods to the UK and London. I forget her last name, but it's Addison something. All of her homeware is so cool. And I loved that it kind of went with my Le Creuset color theme. So again, highs and lows. I think there's something so chic about always having cookies, fresh cookies. Like I said, these are frozen ones. Again, another amazing female entrepreneur. Shout out, it's Sweet Lauren. If you haven't had these, they're like the best frozen cookies ever. But sprinkle them with that flaky salt and, get a little dessert tray, order some doilies from Amazon, and it's just chic and it feels fabulous. As a wine entrepreneur, like 80% of my life is hosting and wine, and in that I have navigated the best way while hosting to keep your wine chilled. So all of Whiny Baby wines are meant to be served chilled, even our red. I know, a little funky. But I just love chilled wine, and I think it makes it a little bit more approachable, especially for people who are a little scared of reds. But a fun little hack is this entire sink is not filled with ice. A fun little tip and trick is that this sink is actually not entirely filled with ice. That would have taken many, many bags. So what you do is just flip over a big bowl and flip it face down and then fill it with ice. And that kind of goes around all the circles, and that kind of covers more space, and then you don't really need that much ice. But why I love this sink trick is beyond it looking gorgeous and being a great way to display our Whiny Baby wines, is it is a lot more practical if you are serving wine that should be chilled versus swapping it in and out of the fridge. And I have gorgeous, super cute, little wine chillers, but they only hold a bottle of wine. And if your friends are like my friends, we are definitely drinking more than a bottle of wine. So the sink hack, I think, is a fun one. It's easy, it's practical, but it also looks really fabulous. This is another UK artist. So obsessed with her. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like foil art, and it says, "Less assumptions, more curiosity." And I just love that so much. And our last little nook over here, if it were up to me, this whole kitchen would be like open cabinets because I love displaying dishware. I love collecting dishware. These are really cute little Le Creuset special edition fruit bowls that my best friend got me. Super special, but again, I like everything to be a moment. And I noticed that when my friends were coming over, they would often have leftovers they were taking with them, or, little treats. So today for the Galentine's party, I have these candy jars that are for aesthetics because they look super cute. I thought it would be cute for my friends to be able to come over, take a little goodie bag to go, fill it up with candy for their Uber ride home. Like I said, I think that every single space is an opportunity to create a moment and a special experience. Peel and stick wallpaper and paint change everything. I know that a lot of people can't paint. I was fortunate enough that I could. So I would say if you can do peel and stick wallpaper, it can get really expensive, but if you hunt, the peel and stick wallpaper in my guest bathroom, I found on Amazon, and it was a collab with Chris Loves Julia. Super affordable, super gorgeous. But probably my favorite renter-friendly hack is lighting. I think that lighting transforms every space, adding wall sconces and a chandelier in your living room, or even a shade in your hallway can completely change the space. And I think a lot of people don't do that when they're renting because they think that everything needs to be hardwired. And actually, the chandelier that is above my dining room table was meant to be hardwired, but we just put it up in there, cut off all the wires, and then put in battery operated lights where a light bulb should be. And so there's so many amazing options now for chargeable lamps and chargeable lights so that you don't have to hardwire, and it's super renter friendly. All right, it is now time to head into the living room. Let's go. So like I said, I don't believe there are any rules, and if you get inspired to do something fun, you should definitely do it. This is not normally sitting here, but when I was preparing for the Galentine's Day, I saw it. It's meant to be a planter, but I filled it with ice, and I thought, how fun for Galentine's to have a unique and different little wine chiller. So, like I said, and if you need a refill, let me know. So, this is a lot of people's favorite part of my house, my beloved wine wall. I'm a wine entrepreneur. Of course I need a wine wall. Wine is so special because it is in and of itself a collectible, even if it's, you know, high and low. Wine can be amazing at $10 a bottle, and it can be amazing at $100 a bottle. And I started Whiny Baby because I felt that the industry needed something more approachable, more fun. And I believe that you can make seriously delicious wine without taking yourself so seriously. So there's all sorts of amazing different wines up here. And the cool thing about wine is it's an amazing experience, obviously, that you share with others, but also it's a lifelong journey with yourself. I am still learning every single day about wine. And the only way that you'll learn more is by drinking it. And thankfully, that's a fun thing to do. But again, it can be intimidating. You know, there's so many different grapes and varietals, and it can be, you know, it can feel kind of pretentious, but I promise it's not. At the end of the day, a good bottle of wine is what you think is good. If you like it and you think it's tasty, great, that's a good bottle of wine. And what's so fun about it is it's kind of like music. You will have a new favorite song, maybe for life or maybe for, you know, that month. And I think that people should think of wine kind of like a music playlist, right? And, oh, this is what I'm drinking this month. But also, I like to think of wine as an accessory, not only to you and your outfit, but for the evening. So certain bottles of wine, you know, pair best with kind of a more sultry mood, or some are just meant for fun and conversation with your girls. And I just really think that wine is life's best accessory. Cheesy, I know, but I really do believe it. So on this wine wall, I want to point out, beyond all the amazing wines, what's really special. All my children lined up here. It will only grow over time and get bigger and bigger, but these are the first Whiny Baby bottles that I ever made when I was 22 years old. And it's just so cool to see how the brand has evolved over time. And I'm so excited to see what's next for Whiny Baby. And we're gonna have to get longer shelves. All right, let's head into the living room, which is literally right here. So it makes it really easy. I love my living room. It is where all my hosting happens, so many game nights, so many fun memories, but it was also the first space that I really decorated. So I'm really proud of it. So there are so many different elements to talk about, but I think we should probably start with the elephant in the room, the fact that it is February and I still have my Christmas tree up. So this was my first Christmas tree this year, and I decorated it so fabulous, and it just added so much to the space. And January is such a dreary month that I got back from the holidays and I just couldn't bear to take my tree down. And like I said, I kind of approach everything like I approach wine, like I approach this apartment. There are no rules. So I was sitting there thinking, I don't want to take it down yet. It adds so much joy and warmth in the month of January, but it also didn't sit right with me to have, you know, the Christmas decor up. So I asked around, posted on Instagram, and so many people, I actually was surprised because I don't know anyone who does this, but I guess there is a community of avid celebrators like myself who keep their Christmas tree up, but they redecorate it for every holiday. So this was so fun. Again, I'm gonna keep saying it, but I just think it's so important because I remember being 22 and being like, oh my gosh, I wanna decorate, but I can't afford it, and high and low. So most of this stuff is from Amazon or from an antique store that I found, and I just gotta redecorate it and make my Valentine's tree. I am not sure if I'm gonna keep it up past Valentine's Day, but I really just think it adds so much to the space. First of all, the iconic bow is made by someone here in town who does tree decorating. She worked with me on my Christmas tree, and I sent her all sorts of inspo, and one of them was these anthropology bows, and she's like, I can make that myself. So she made it herself. So cool, so iconic. And then again, when I went out thinking I could buy things from stores. Everything was so expensive. And so I scoured Amazon, I scoured Etsy, I scoured thrift shops, and came up with this. Again, play with colors, play with size. Like, I think what makes the whole tree is these huge roses. They're so cool. But my favorite little part is these vintage little Valentines. They're super cute, and when we get over to the Tablescape, I have a little nod to vintage Valentines as well. So I think it's fun to kind of connect the story and connect different elements throughout the home. I think my favorite thing that anyone has ever said when they come in my apartment is they feel like they're in a different world, and that is music to my ears. I want people to feel like they're in a transformed space. I want them to not think about their work or want to be on TikTok. I want them to be present in the moment and make memories. And I just think it's so special to create a world of your own. And so welcome to my world. So if we take a step in, there's so much. This couch is probably the biggest purchase I've made so far in my life. So I love it so much. It was so important to me to have something big and comfy. And honestly, it's amazing if you even need to sleep there. So great for guests and hosting. I try to think through the guest experience, again, just like my wine. Every single detail, I'm thinking through how people are experiencing it. And so there's all these little things. These are actually, I can't tell you the amount of people who have come over and been like, wait, I need these. I have tons of these. And when I'm hosting, I put even more out because I realize, oh my gosh, people come, they sit down, and they don't have anywhere to put their glasses or their food and all that. So Zara Home is slept on. It is so amazing. Definitely check it out. These are Zara Home, as are these little ottomans. So these little ottomans are also from Zara Home. But again, I just try to think through the entire guest experience, and I realized the only bummer about this couch was that it didn't have, gosh, I don't even know what it's called, like the end parts where you can put your feet. So obviously needed an ottoman, and again, they're used so much. I also love, so like I said, you will never be thirsty. You always have a full glass in my apartment, and you will never be hungry. So after my guests come in with their little glass, they take a seat here, they can enjoy a little appetizer, a little olive tapenade, and then these are super special to me. My best friend got these for me for Christmas. They say Jess's Wine Bar, which this is kind of like my own wine bar. Again, with the highs and lows, I own like 4 of these Amazon silver trays. You throw a little linen napkin on top, and I think it looks really elevated. Maybe it doesn't. I think it does. And it's just fun to add a little elevation and a little luxury to your everyday, but it's luxury that anyone can afford and anyone can do. Like I said, having good taste has nothing to do with your budget. I think this coffee table is so cool, so gorgeous. $200 from Wayfair. Like, are you kidding me? Frame TV, obviously a splurge. Life-changing though. I'm kind of bummed. We may have to do a part 2 of the apartment because it is not ready yet. It is a work in progress, but I'm working with someone who is building me an awning to cover this ugly air conditioning. So stay tuned because it's gonna be really fabulous, but I think this is like a renter, what's the word I wanna say? A renter challenge is things like this that I have no control over it. And it's kind of an eyesore, but we're gonna forget about it and follow up for the fabulous awning that is coming. But my gallery wall, I think a lot of people get intimidated to make gallery walls, and I don't blame you, but I have some fun hacks that will make it really easy. So first of all, there's a bunch of different Etsy artists that I found. First and foremost, if you can scour Etsy and really find amazing original art, I think that's always the best way to go. But then again, high and low, if you want to make things really simple, the easiest hack ever is go on Etsy, find prints. So like this is an original piece of art that had to get shipped to me. But Etsy has all sorts of art prints that you just digitally download. So a bunch of these are, some of them are different art prints that I found on Etsy. I downloaded them, and then here's the hack. If you're lazy on a budget and want to put together an apartment like this in, when was May? Like 5 months. I download the Etsy art. Then I go on my Target app and I see what frames are available at the Target near me and what sizes they are. Then I go over, I take my digital downloads, I size them to fit the frames that are available at Target. I click pick up order, and then I download the images, that same size, go on my CVS Minute Photo app and put in the prints. You can have yourself a gallery wall in one day. So that's a fun hack. But it'll be even better if you add in all sorts of curated things as well. So I love my gallery wall so much. Every single piece is so special and important to me. And of course, the special moment from this year, winning Gordon Ramsay's Food Stars for Team Lisa Vanderpump, who Lisa Vanderpump is also a maximalist, self-proclaimed through and through. So obviously one of my favorite life moments. I think there's like a trend going on right now called intentional clutter. And someone actually called Whiny Baby packaging, I think they called it like intentional chaos or something. And my initial reaction was like, oh, like I hate that. But if this is an intentional clutter, I'll take it because I like it. It's my clutter. I think my favorite thing in the apartment is a tie between my Whiny Baby art piece and these chairs. Anthropologie, I had wanted them for so long and never could afford them, never had really even a space for them. And thank goodness they stayed on Anthropologie for like years. When I could, these were like the first thing I ordered, and I didn't even worry about if they would go. I think a lot of people are afraid of color and pattern. I clearly am not. I actually find the more color and the more pattern, you'll also see I mix like wood. I've got light wood, I've got dark wood, I've got brown, I've got black. I have just found the more you add, the more it will all eventually go. And it does take a bit of curating and swapping, but I mean, there's certain things that are neutrals to me, and patterns like this and leopard are a neutral in my opinion. So I will have these forever. I think they're gorgeous. And when I can no longer use them as a chair, I'm gonna take the fabric and, I don't know, make a dress out of it. I think it's so gorgeous. So after we've spent some time hanging in here, it is time to head over to the dining room table. And we're not having a full dinner tonight for this Galentine's. We're having girl dinner, charcuterie, and that is plenty. And it's gonna be fabulous, and I can't wait to show you how I have made the Tablescape extra special. Come on. I'm so excited to show you today's Tablescape for the Galentine's party. I really believe that table settings, tablescapes, is like an art form, and it's a true labor of love. People do not understand why a tablescape may take so long, but for me, I am scouring and searching for specific dishware to fit the theme. I'm looking for special linens or plates, and then as I've said, and as you will see, it really is a theme for my whole life. It's a theme for my business. I really try to make it a special experience for my guests. So I'm going to show you a little bit about each place setting and today's tablescape. First of all, this, like I mentioned, is renter friendly. This is a normal chandelier, light fixture, whatever you want to call it, but we cut the hard wires and put it up there. And then I don't have them on right now, but there are lights in here that are battery operated, so it's renter friendly. But even that, just sticking this above, I always get the comment that my apartment feels like a house, and I love that because it should. And I think it's little touches like that that make people feel like they're in an actual home. This I just saw on Pinterest and thought it was so cute. I played around with a ton of different, little things to hang from here, but I think the ribbons are just simple and really add a lot, again, with height and different colors. It really ties everything in. So these are Anthropologie, nothing crazy. So these were a super exciting find, and I always have these on my table. Again, I feel like they really elevate things. Why they're so amazing though is I found these for like 99 cents at a Goodwill. Do not sleep on Goodwill, and do not only go to trendy thrift stores and antique shops, because really most of what you're finding there is something that other people have found at Goodwill. And I think the fun of homemaking is taking the time. It's like a scavenger hunt to find things, and it's just so fun. It's like a game. I think this isn't really a hack, but everyone should know, you should always have bud vases on hand. Florals are so expensive and overwhelming, but I actually prefer bud vases because I think they just look really chic and simple. So that's what we have here today. These are not fake flowers, these are real. And if you can't tell, ranunculus are like my favorite flower. So each place setting, let's get into it. Again, it's just such a labor of love creating this moment. I am very passionate that there should always be name cards, there should always be assigned seating. I really believe that as a host, it is your job to make your guests comfortable, and part of that is communicating the flow. I clearly am a very outgoing personality, and so when I started hosting Whiny Baby events, I started, meeting people that I wasn't necessarily immediate friends with or that I didn't know, but that I was hosting them at this event. And I would watch how, if they didn't know people, how they'd interact. And I realized it's the job of the host to create that interaction, to create that communication, because not everybody's gonna feel comfortable doing it naturally. So I always like to play with the table setting. I only have 4 guests tonight, so they all know each other. Nothing crazy there, but when you are hosting more people, and especially people that may not know each other, I think the table setting and where people sit is another opportunity to create a fun and special moment. So these super cute little Valentine's placemats are vintage Etsy finds. I think Etsy may be my #1 place that I find home stuff. Surprisingly, these are gorgeous plates that I found on Revolve. So I don't know what it is, but Revolve, H&M, Zara, Tuckernuck, St. Bernard, all these places that I would normally shop for clothing carry really fabulous homeware now, which is exciting. These are so fun, and I'm so excited about these. So again, with the high and low, I don't remember where these were from, but these are from a boutique. These were a little bit more pricey, but each place setting has my guest's name written on the heart. But then why I'm getting so giddy is I was up north in Sonoma area last weekend, and I went antiquing, and I found these vintage Valentines, and they're each so funny. I'll show you each one because I just thought they were too cute. They were like, I think I got them for like $5. There was a ton of different ones, but they're like actual, I have no idea what year they are from. Maybe it says, but I just thought they were so cute and so fun to have at each person's place setting. They're super funny. They're very camp. I guess camp might be another word that I would use to describe my taste. So back to the place setting. My love language, if you haven't taken your 7 love languages test, I think that everyone should know their love language, and how I express love is gift giving. I think it's so thoughtful. And to me, the best kind of gift is something you would actually want to receive. And so I just thought, keep it simple. If you've not tried Rare Beauty blushes, they're life-changing. So I got each of my girls a cute little Rare Beauty blush for their little Valentine's Day gift. Again, it's small, but it's thoughtful, and people get who doesn't love gifts? It's just adds to the moment, and it's so fun to see your friends get excited. And my favorite kind of parties are like the favorite things parties, so love doing that. Okay, these are so fun. I got these at a local home store here in town called House of Mosley. They actually have a website as well that you should check out, but they do an amazing job of curating. And if you like Mackenzie Childs, they're like Mackenzie Childs everything. So very over the top, very maximalist. Maybe that's where I got some of my taste, because growing up, I would always ask my mom if we could go to House of Mosley. It felt so fabulous and over the top. Okay, I'm very excited about this because in a moment, we're gonna do a little bit of wine pairings. So we already had our rosé. We still have to go through our white wine and our red wine. All my wines are blends. before we get to that, we will be using this for our red wine, and I won't spoil the surprise, but these were a vintage Etsy find, so chic, and I don't want to spoil it, but we may be having a little ice cream treat in here. So I thought that these were absolutely gorgeous, and they came with these vintage spoons. I'm so in love with these napkin holders. Again, I'll keep these forever. I think they add a lot and they kind of go with everything. Okay. Again, this was actually another Revolve find. Super cute. I think it's Furbish Studio. A lot of stuff is Furbish Studio. They have amazing patterns. This is another Sonoma County Sebastopol find. I am madly in love. You can't tell, but these are really heavy. But I found these beautiful silver wine glasses and I just fell in love and I added on, I think these are from Bloomingdale's. Wine charms are so back, and I think I need to come out with a line of wine charms for Whiny Baby because they're not only adorable and amazing accessories, they're practical. My friends are constantly mixing up whose glasses are whose. So that's why I implemented the colorful wine glasses, and then I really started getting a bunch of wine charms. But I mean, is that not the cutest thing you've ever seen? Oh, obsessed. And that is the Tablescape. So why don't we head over here to the charcuterie and get into our wine pairings. All right, so once everyone has taken their seat, they can dive in. I love making charcuterie boards, and admittedly, I thought about purchasing one, but I thought, absolutely not. It's a form of expression. And again, to me, a good charcuterie board has lots of different colors, lots of different options, but also plays with height. And so that's why I loved incorporating these vintage. I had extra of the vintage little dessert cups, so I used those. There's a variety of everything. And obviously the best place to go is Trader Joe's. They have an amazing cheese selection. But also, I secretly like having my friends over and making charcuterie boards because it's an excuse to buy all the new Trader Joe's snacks. They have like the craziest selection of snacks. So you will really find all the latest Trader Joe's snacks that I selfishly wanted to try out. So these are obviously great. People can just dig in, no fuss, no need to do a whole big dinner. But let's get into the wine pairings. So wine pairings, first of all, I started Whiny Baby because I did not know about wine, and thankfully I have amazing partners who are winemaking experts, and I really get to be the translator for what Gen Z and what people, not just Gen Z, everybody, but anybody who's new to wine and doesn't know much, I get to translate kind of what they're looking for. So Whiny Baby has 3 blends, a white blend, a rosé blend, and a red blend. The blends are to make it more approachable, easily drinkable. And when you have a blend, it makes the wine a little bit more complex, a little bit more round, a little bit more balanced. So that being said, although I'm going to show you some fun pairings for the wines, what's great about Whiny Baby wines is you can really pair them with anything. They are easily drinkable, fruit forward, juicy, but not these crazy sugar bombs by any means. They are really beautifully balanced with acidity. And like I said, you can make seriously delicious wine without taking yourself so seriously. So let's pop open our gorgeous white blend. I'm actually going to get one that's a little bit colder. Again, I love the sink hack. It's awesome. Our white blend is predominantly Riesling and Chenin Blanc. And this really, like I said, it can be paired with anything, but my favorite way to pair it today is with this rosemary Asiago cheese. Asiago is really tangy and nutty, and our white blend, we like to call it, it tastes like a fruit cocktail, like fruit cocktail juice. So peach, pear, pineapple, it's just refreshing and juicy. And the balance of the tang and the nuttiness and the Asiago cheese, perfection. So while the girls tonight are enjoying their grazing board, they will be sipping on their Whiny Baby white blend because it really, I mean, pairs perfectly with all of these things. So cheers. I mean, I'm biased, but It's perfection. Never gets old, so refreshing. But my favorite part, one of Whiny Baby, is when we pop open that cap, we've got a surprise conversation starter. So, Homeworthy, here is our Whiny Baby conversation starter. What book are you reading right now? I will answer as well. My friends and I just started a book club this year, super excited, and we are reading The Vacation Problem, or no, Paradise Problem. Vacation Problem or Paradise Problem. Loving it, a little rom-com, and that's what I'm reading right now. Pairing wine and food sounds really intimidating. It's really not, and it's actually a fun adventure. You just take a bite, chew it, have the wine, and see if you like it and see what it does. And it's actually fascinating. When you play with sweet food or salty food and dry wine and sweet wine, you'll see it really does affect the flavor or the acidity and the juiciness in your mouth. But I love cheese. I could like eat cheese for every meal of the day. Super tangy, super tart. That's my nutty, tart, tangy. That's how I want my cheese. And then it's really insane how food and wine complement each other and how food can totally expand and bring out different flavors in wine. That is delicious. Try this pairing. Whiny Baby White Blend and Rosemary Asiago cheese from Trader Joe's. So I could sit here with you all day, Homeworthy, and have this grazing board and drink wine, but we got stuff to do. So although this would happen later in the evening, we're gonna skip right to dessert. This is my favorite Whiny Baby pairing, hands down. So we are gonna grab our red blend. I'm biased, I do have a favorite child. It is our red blend. A lot of people are afraid of red wine or think they don't like red wine. If you think you don't like red wine, you've not had Whiny Baby. This tastes like literal fruit punch. It is delicious. It's predominantly Zinfandel and Merlot. So you really just get these bright, ripe, juicy cherry flavors. I'm obsessed. It's my favorite thing to drink. But what we're gonna do, super fun, get a really good quality vanilla ice cream. This is from Decor's, a Bakersfield staple. If you ever visit Bakersfield, you gotta try Decor's. Decor's and Luigi's are our claim to fame. So we are just gonna take an itty bitty little scoop of really yummy vanilla ice cream. We're gonna open up our red blend. If your mouth is not watering, I'm telling you, gotta go to the store and grab some Whiny Baby. It is the perfect event, date night, girls night. It's just the perfect wine. I'm biased, okay? So we open it up, gotta do our conversation starter. Best pickup line. I think actually when people are like, wait, I know you from somewhere. That's like, it kind of trips you up. You're like, wait, do I know this person? I think that's a good pickup line. I don't know. I don't really use, maybe no one's used one on me. I don't know. Okay, this is the fun part, you guys. The vanilla with the cherry. This is like a cherry vanilla Coke. It's delicious, okay? You're gonna have to try this. You just do a little splash or a lot, honestly, and that just like marinates in there. I know you're thinking, what the heck are you doing? You guys, this is combo of a lifetime. And honestly, I'm a sprinkles girl. I'm mad that I don't have any. I'm gonna get in here. We're gonna try this. This is the perfect, cutest little dessert ever. Okay. Gotta get the perfect bite. Insane. Wow, now I wanna just sit here and eat that. Before we head into the guest bathroom, I forgot. Remember I said there's nods to little chili peppers everywhere. I did not make these, but I walked into my local bakery today and they had these little chili pepper Valentine's cookies. Are you kidding me? Adorable. All right, let's go to the guest bathroom. Like I said, this has quickly become like my favorite space in the house and you'll see why. All right, welcome to my guest bathroom. Like I said, I was working on a really tight budget, and this was such a labor of love and so fun putting together. And it honestly turned out better than I ever imagined. It's like my favorite space right now. So like I said, I found this wallpaper. It's funny, this was not the wallpaper I wanted. I wanted martini wallpaper, but that was like $250 a roll. Not budget friendly. So I found this. This was on Amazon, and it's a Chris Loves Julia collab. And so this is what I could afford, and I liked it, and so I went with it, and now I couldn't even imagine any other wallpaper. I love the moodiness. This and this are both vintage finds that I, again, found in Sonoma. Love it. And I always think it's just nice to give your guests, you know, fancy hand soap and little things like that make their experience better. Pookie Lights is an incredible company, and they are all they are all chargeable lights, and the charge lasts for a really long time, and there's not a lot of not plug in the wall options for lamps, and they have such a beautiful selection. Like I said, cheetah leopard print is a neutral in my house, so that is a neutral. Not much to say here, just love it so much. And little things like this is just something you can find on Amazon, but it adds so much. If you've not heard of Wheezy Towels, it's an amazing brand, and I think that like bathroom small trash cans are kind of tricky and can really downgrade the space. And Wheezy has these super cute prints that match, and it definitely does not take away from the space. It adds so much. And then over here, not much to mention, except this was on my wish list for so long. I want it in my bathroom, but it's about the guests. It's about the hosting experience. This is the world's chicest hand soap. I forget the name of the company, but if you need to buy hand soap, get this. There is like a trend right now. I'm obsessed with it. I'd like to explore it more in my own business, but items used as not only the product, but also decor. So like this is not just hand soap to me. This is in and of itself a beautiful piece of decor. This is the world's greatest vintage thrift store find. This gorgeous piece of art was $30. I'm telling you, why would you go and get a piece of art that everyone else has? The rush I felt when I found this, I mean, it's indescribable. Something a little bit unique, or I don't know if it's unique, maybe it's not, but I just hated the look of bath mats. I feel like, again, it kind of downgraded the space. And so both in my guest bathroom and my own bathroom, which I will show you in a moment, I have like a runner rug that takes up most of the space. And I just think it makes it like more cohesive and so much prettier than a bath mat. So with that, I think it's time that we head to my bedroom. Woo, let's go, Valentine's Day. All right, welcome to my bathroom. It definitely doesn't normally look this clean. I normally have makeup and hair stuff everywhere, but I tidied up a little bit for you. I think the best things to point out are, one, this is that Etsy, Target, CVS photo hack. Had a gorgeous piece of original art in a day, battery operated lights, and a super easy shelf. I think it adds so much. This is definitely my favorite paint color in the entire apartment. I honestly would have maybe even done my living room this color. I love the green, but oh, this color, I think it's called like bratwurst or something funny like that, but I love it. This I'm super passionate about because I feel like showers, especially in rentals, cannot feel very luxurious. And so it may not seem like much, but waterproof, battery operated, or actually rechargeable lamps to really set the vibe. And then these are my favorite thing. Again, Amazon, you stick them in here and it just looks, it feels like I'm in a hotel. And It saves you that clutter of shampoo bottles, and it just makes everything nice. Again, it's super easy to switch out a shower head, and it's renter friendly, and I think it really transforms the space. As a business owner, I'm really passionate about emerging brands, and one of the things that I think we're gonna start seeing a lot more of, like I said in there, is functional objects that also kind of double as pieces of art or decor. One of the coolest new companies is Trask. And I think these are like $30. They make the best gifts. I've given them as gifts to so many people, but they each come with these little holders. And like, is that not the chicest toothbrush you've ever seen? All right, welcome to my bedroom. So I went with this pink because I feel like it went nicely, of course, with the bathroom color. I picked the bathroom color first, but it's actually a little bit of a nod to my studio apartment that I lived in LA. So like I said, one of the many perks of moving back to your hometown and suburbia is it's a little bit more affordable. So when I was in LA, I lived in a studio apartment. Like, I'm not kidding, the whole thing was like the size of this room. I actually had a, what do you call it? I had a Murphy bed. That's how small it was. But it was iconic because I had that little design itch in me from the beginning, and the only thing I really could afford to do was paint the entire studio pink. So I lived in like it was like a 500 square foot pink studio apartment on Ocean Drive, and it was just kind of it was a cool time in my life. So that was lots of fun. This is the first time in my life I've ever really invested in bedding, and it is true what people say. It was worth every penny, really investing in nice sheets. And St. Frank is the maker of the fabrics of the bedding and the pillowcases. All of their stuff is definitely a little bit of a splurge, but so beautiful and really makes the space. Again, with the artwork, this is an amazing artist, Victoria. I think it's pronounced Chamley, but I befriended this artist on socials as well, and this just feels like the most me painting ever. Can't please them all. And what's actually funny is when I posted my room for the first time, the amount of comments on TikTok criticizing the spacing, and I'm not gonna lie, I see it too. They should be a little bit more together, but I'm balling on a budget, and I was working with someone who put them up, and honestly, I'm not gonna pay to move them again. I like them, and I think it's funny because the paintings say, can't please them all, and it was the #1 thing people complained about, but I think it's fabulous. I think they're so cool, and I will have them forever. The wall lights and the art lights are all Amazon, all battery operated. Again, small things that totally elevate the space and make it feel really luxurious, but it's renter and budget friendly. Same thing with these side tables. I had these side tables that I wanted so bad. I think they were from West Elm, but I couldn't do it. So again, it's like highs and lows. I knew I wanted to splurge on that artwork. So these side tables, which are perfect. I think they were from Wayfair or Amazon, but what I'll point out is, again, I feel like I was able to elevate them and really make them work for my space because I switched out the hardware to those gold knobs. So highs and lows, highs and lows. Again, everything is so personalized. There's a wine book next to me over there, and this is a fun little call out. These are real bud vase and ranunculus. These aren't fake, but I do have fake flowers in here. Beware. I already know people are gonna get hate. But I keep every hotel room key that my boyfriend and I stay in over the years in here. As you can tell, very sentimental person, and I just love keeping little things like that. This was put in here out of practicality and functionality. I needed more closet space, but actually what it's turned into is, I think we're all guilty of this. I don't wear so many of the clothes I have just because I forget about them. So each week I try to hang up what I'm gonna wear that week. Otherwise, I will kind of forget about stuff in my closet. So this is super simple, again, from Amazon. And I've got my little Valentine's cardigan I'm probably gonna wear tonight for Galentine's Day. And then over here, this is another little British, it's a collab of shrimps and daisy. I think it is the coolest little jewelry. As you can tell, I love jewelry. I love stacks. And so I thought this was the coolest little jewelry case. And then over there, you'll see when my boyfriend stays, he stays on this side. And so, like I said, we met in London. So all in the details, great pubs of London, and he's a golfer, so golf courses. Like I said, I'm really passionate about all the little details that make up a space and make whoever you're hosting feel more comfortable and loved. And every single space of your apartment or home, in my opinion, is an opportunity to express yourself, but also create a one-of-a-kind experience. Home to me is truly an extension of yourself, and it is a curation of all the things and memories that have made up the person that I am today. And for me, I am so passionate about hosting and community, and I really believe it is your own little world, your own little canvas that you get to invite others into and create a special experience. And for me, I love that my home is a safe place for my friends to come and talk through big life moments. It's where I work. I work from home, so it's also the place that I get a ton of inspiration from. And most importantly, it is a place of gathering and where so many memories are made. Hey Homeworthy, I'm SJ Bailey and welcome to my Atlanta home Galentine's party.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
I'm SJ Bailey. I'm the founder and CEO of SJ Bailey Co. We're a design company based here in Atlanta, specializing in jewelry and styling services for clothing and very newly events. Welcome back to my Atlanta home. Today I'm going to be hosting a Galentine's Day party. Today I thought it'd be really fun to have my friends over to paint taper candles. So I did a lot of research and I found these wax candle pens that you can use to paint onto taper candles. That way it's non-toxic and you can still burn them. And I thought it'd be really sweet to set up a little dessert bar and charcuterie. I have some wine, champagne, and then we will get into the taper candle painting. One of my favorite things about hosting is not just celebrating my friends and family who come into my home, but also providing an experience for them. When my guests walk in the door, I'll show them to the little entryway table where I have some wine and champagne so we can pour them a drink, and then they can take that into the dining room where I have the tablescape set up, and we have the craft all ready to go. So I'll walk you guys through how we set that up. And then when they walk into the kitchen, that's where we have the dessert and the charcuterie. I think it just provides a fun experience of walking through the home, seeing little vignettes, and I've set up decorations like here in the living room. I made this bow garland just using Amazon ribbon and a glue gun. That's what we're gonna do today. So the first thing I set up is this little drinks table in the entryway of our home. And I just put a little bit of candy because I have a big sweet tooth and my friends do as well. I also found this beautiful antique dish at Means and Carney Interiors here in Atlanta. They've got some of the coolest stuff and I love going there. And this is just full of candy hearts, also along the sweet treat theme. I have this beautiful artwork that's also from Means and Carney Interiors. Their artwork really is just my favorite. And I thought this was so Galentine's coded and needed to go right here. A fun little story about these is my Grammy actually gave me the shorter version of these. They're on the bar cart right here. And my mother-in-law sourced the pattern when she was at an antique store in Savannah. And when I found this taller version, I knew I had to have them because they're just so special to me and they're so girly and feminine. I don't know if you can see, but there's bows etched into the glass, and that's just so true to who I am, and I love them. They make me happy. So we will be drinking out of these today, and I just used this Amazon ribbon just to add a fun little girly detail, and I think it looks cute when you're walking around drinking your champagne. So these are on this silver tray. I also really love serving on silver. My mom has always stressed the importance of using your silver, and it's really great because you can find these at estate sales. That's where I found this serving tray, and I also actually found this crystal dish at an estate sale too. So it looks really nice, but it was really not expensive at all, which we love. And I have some rosé, some Veuve champagne, and then I found these coasters. I love these so much. They're from eBay, and I just think they add a really beautiful little detail to the table. I have some cute cocktail napkins, very important. And I found this runner when I was in Spain, actually. It's just from Zara Home. It's nothing fancy, but it makes me happy, and it has little pink florals, and I thought it just kind of completed the look. And next, I can show you guys my bow garland and kind of tell you how I made it. So come with me. So this is my bow garland. It's actually, I feel like, kind of become a signature when I throw a party. I did this for Thanksgiving, Christmas time, and it's the easiest, most inexpensive craft in the world. All you have to do is find ribbon. I just, like I said, Amazon, very inexpensive. And you just tie them into bows, and then you take a hot glue gun, put a dab of glue right on the edge of the bow, and then just stick them together, press for a couple seconds, and voila, here you go. It looks so cute and festive, but it's just a lovely little detail, and it's not hard to make. Anyone can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. But I also put these larger bows in the center and on the sides just to elevate it a little bit, and I think it's a cute moment when you walk in the door and you see it. So in today's day and age, one of my favorite things is that between Etsy, eBay, estate sales, Facebook Marketplace, you can throw a beautiful event for your friends and family at your house. We have so many good resources for very inexpensive. So it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg to serve things on beautiful platters and create pretty bow garlands. You can really do it for very little, which is awesome. And now I'll take you over to my bar cart. This is our bar cart here, so I have some backup champagne, and I've also used these pink taper candles, also Amazon, in these brass candle sconces that I sourced from eBay actually a couple years ago. I love them, and I just tied these bows on it just to have a fun little pink vignette, and it matches this art that my future sister-in-law made, so kind of fun. And these are the glasses that I was telling y'all about that my Grammy gave me, and they have just the most beautiful detailing. I think they're so gorgeous. And now I'll show you guys the tablescape in the dining room. So I had a lot of fun putting this together because normally I set up tablescapes with placemats, fine china, everyday plates, utensils, all the good things. And today I'm just doing a tablescape dedicated to the taper candle painting. And it's a little bit different than what I normally do, but I'd love to show you guys a little bit more details about it. So first things first, I wanted to showcase the paper invitations. This is one of my favorite things when I'm hosting a party, is sending out actual paper mail. I think it just shows your friends and family that you're inviting, that you've put an effort to the event. It's such a sweet detail, and it makes me so happy when I get physical mail. And my friend Hannah from Ross & Collective put these together. She's so talented, and I just think they're really happy and set the tone for the event. First things first, I have, of course, the taper candles that we're gonna be painting. I sourced these and these glass pink candlesticks, I guess, on Amazon, and I just tied a little bow to make it feel special, and each girl is gonna get 2 of those. And then I put these little gift tags, also from Ross & Collective, on these temporary placemats from Lucy's Market. So that way, if these get dirty or get the wax paint on it, it's not a big deal at all because they can be thrown away. So totally fine. And then I found these wax paint pens. So like I said, they're non-toxic, and all you have to do is just use these on the taper candles to just create whatever design you want to do. And I picked out the Valentine's Day colors. So we have pink, white, red, silver, and gold. And then I tied these together with some candy hearts with a bow. And then I have this little wooden easel that's also from Amazon, just to have a place for them to put them if they're leaking out or it gets messy. And then, of course, I had to give each of my girls a pair of S.J. Bailey Co. earrings. I just wanted to do this as a little Galentine's gift for them because they're so special to me, and I tied them with a pink bow. I think part of the art of hosting is also the seating chart. It's such an art to put people together who maybe don't know each other, or people that you think will get along. They have someone that they know in common or something in common. And all of my friends here know each other very well, so this was not hard to put the seating chart together, but that is something I wanted to call out. And Ross & Collective made these beautiful place cards, and I put these in front of each of the place settings for my girls. So I think the bows are really cute, and the pink stripes is very Eloise to me, and I love that. Brass candlesticks are one of my favorite things to find at estate sales. So all of these brass candlesticks, they're covered in bows right now, so you may not be able to tell that they're brass candlesticks, but I think they were all like $3 each at estate sales throughout the years. My mom is also the one who showed me to do that, and I've used them so many times I've lost count. I use them for, honestly, I feel like every tablescape I do, and I do a lot of them. So I just put these pink taper candles here. I have these beautiful green glasses from Lucy's Market, and I thought they tied in with the wallpaper and added a cute contrast against all the pink, and then brought out the green in these flowers. For this floral arrangement, I just got some greenery, some white hydrangeas, and some pink flowers from Trader Joe's. Super easy. And I have this brass vase that I actually got from a florist as a gift from a different event that I threw. It was a rendezvous style brunch, and it was so much fun. It was around Christmas time for my mom and her friends, and I'm just reusing it for this party. And this tablecloth, I've had it for a couple of years. I think it's from Etsy, but I felt like it was the perfect touch for the Galentine's table. And I'll show you guys a little bit more in depth of how I put this together. So what I have here is the placemat from Lucy's that can easily be thrown away. It's paper, super cute. I feel like you wouldn't know. And then I have this gift tag that I just put in the center. And then I have the two candlesticks with the taper candles that we're gonna be painting. I also thought that having these candlesticks would make it a lot easier when they're drying, just because they're standing up, and each girl's gonna be able to take them home and they can just easily put this on their own table. So this goes here. Then I have the wooden easel that I found on Amazon. I just put this off to the side to create an extra little working space. And then the paint pens and the candy hearts. And for all the girls, obviously I'm not gonna give myself a pair of earrings, but all the other girls got a pair of earrings that will go to the side. If you've seen my original Homeworthy tour, you've definitely gotten a small glimpse into my party pantry, but I wanted to show y'all a little bit more in depth about it today. So this is what my mother dubbed the party pantry, and it's where I keep all of my entertaining supplies. So I have all of my glassware. I really like glassware. I feel like it's the jewelry of the tablescape. It can kind of elevate it, change it. Originally, I was gonna use these tortoiseshell cups on the table, but I decided that I really liked the green instead. So it's just kind of fun to switch up how it looks, and it's just super, super fantastic to have all of this right here. And I also have my cake stands, my bowls, and these fun little acrylic sticks that I think are also just a cute little accessory to put into a cocktail when people come over. Obviously, we're not using Santa hat today, but that's fine. A lot of these are from estate sales, actually. So like these silver candelabras, I originally found these at an estate sale to use on my cake table at my wedding. And they're just really special to my husband and I, and we love using them for Christmas dinners, just everyday dinners. It's kind of a fun way to set an ambiance with some paper candles. And then I also have found just a lot of fun little things, like little trinkets, like this blue and white dish at antique stores. So it's really fun just to kind of explore and look at estatesales.net is how I find most of my estate sales. I just type in the zip code and it shows me pictures of all of the estate sale listings, and so I can go through and figure out which ones are gonna have what I'm looking for. And sometimes I've even texted the number on the listing to be like, hey, is this still available? If so, can I pay for it ahead of time? So a little secret tip, you can definitely do that. While we're here, I wanted to show y'all my Heron collection. I did show a little bit of this on my other Homeworthy tour, but I just love collections and showcasing them. I think it's a great conversation starter. So if you have a collection, I would very much encourage, if you're having people over, if you collect something, it's something that's probably very special to you or has meaning, and that's just a cool way to connect with your guests. So here is my Heron collection. This is what started it. This is my husband and I's wedding cake topper for our wedding, and we just joked that this was us as bunnies. I don't know why we thought that was funny, but we put this on our cake and it's just really special to me. I love it so much, and it encouraged me to look at other Heron figurines, and that's when I got really obsessed. So my husband gave me this elephant. This is from Charlottesville, where we used to live for our first year of marriage, and I just thought it was so cute, and he knew how much I loved it, so he gave this to me for my birthday. And then I found this guy at an estate sale in Highland Park. Went in on a whim, and I found this. It was for such a fraction of the price. I thought it was fake, but it turns out it had actually shattered and they had glued it back together, and that's why it was so discounted, and you can't even tell that it's been glued back together. But I love him. I think he's so fun, and he came with this acrylic stand, and a lot of people just, it's fun to chit chat about the gorilla in the room, I guess. I don't know. And then my mom gave me this cute little pink pig. I think it's precious. And then my mother-in-law gave me this little bunny. My mother-in-law is so wonderful because she loves antiques as much as I do, and she has actually sourced so much. Like, she's found a bunch of the Wedgwood that I have. She found this little bunny for me for my birthday. So love Queen Denise. She's wonderful. But yeah, this goes right here, and it just makes me happy. I love it. And this is my rose medallion collection. I found these at an estate sale here in Atlanta, fell in love, got them for an excellent price, and then I found these acrylic stands at the Container Store, actually. And when Jackson, my husband, and I were living in Charlottesville, I was at this beautiful estate sale, and I found this rose medallion box, and I fell in love, and I just think it completes the room. These are actually what I designed this dining room around, and I think it just perfectly complements the wallpaper, and yeah. So the wallpaper is Schumacher, and given the size of this dining room, I knew I wanted to wallpaper it, but I thought it would be just a little too much to have wallpaper everywhere. So I thought it'd be really cool to have this picture frame molding installed on the wall and then have the wallpaper inside of the picture frame molding, so it's still a statement and it's elegant and beautiful, but it's not overpowering to the size of the room. And I cut the wallpaper myself, and I thought that I was gonna do this myself, and then as soon as I cut the wallpaper, I panicked and was really scared that I was gonna mess it up, so I ended up hiring someone to put it on the walls for me. But yeah, this is Schumacher, and I love the color green so much, and I really love this pattern. I just think that doing picture frame molding and then putting wallpaper inside of that is a really clever way to have wallpaper that doesn't overpower the space. Since this is our first home, I do want to highlight how actually this entire room was furnished from Facebook Marketplace. So the rug, the dining table, dining chairs, the credenza, all of it is from Facebook Marketplace. And then I found this artwork at an estate sale as well, and I DIY'd it because when I bought these, the matting was red and purple, kind of marbled tie-dye. I was a little confused by it, and it did not match my home. So I just got some gold paint and I painted over it, and now I think they match perfectly, and it was super easy, and I think I seriously I don't even remember what I paid, but it was not very much. I have invited my closest friends here in Atlanta. Funny enough, I actually met all of these girls post-grad. I went to the University of Georgia and moved to Atlanta, and only one of my college best friends moved to the Atlanta area, and she couldn't come today, which is such a bummer, but we're gonna have a lot of fun, and I'm excited for you guys to meet my friends. I started making jewelry in high school. I loved it so much, and I made it for family and friends, and I kind of paused jewelry making when I got to college because I was at UGA and I needed to focus on being in the Terri College business. And then when I graduated, I took a job in software marketing, and while I did love that so much, I missed the creative aspect of jewelry and making something, and I always loved being able to make jewelry that I can wear. I just thought that was so special, so I decided to restart my little high school business, and I figured if nobody bought the earrings, that's totally fine because I'll wear them myself, but it kind of just took off from there, and we have now done custom bridesmaids earrings for over 700 weddings, and we've worked with brides and mother of, done everyday jewelry, and I just love it so much. It makes me so happy. So we're a team of 4 women, so 3 of us are based here in Atlanta and 1 of us is based in Augusta. They're wonderful. I would not be where I am today without them. I love them so much and I'm so grateful. They're so hardworking and easy to get along with, and they're awesome. They make SJ Bailey Co. SJ Bailey Co. Something new that we launched in this past year is mismatched bridesmaids dress styling and our clothing styling services. So if brides send us the colors and the overall aesthetic of their wedding day and let us know how many bridesmaids they have, we'll pull a certain amount of dresses for each bridesmaid, throw it all together in a presentation, and then they can send it to their bridesmaids who are doing mismatched dresses. It makes the whole thing so stress-free for them, and it's a lot of fun for us. When it comes to effortless entertaining, my mother always told me that her biggest piece of advice was to run the dishwasher beforehand, so that way when your guests leave and you're cleaning up, it's just a lot easier and you're not exhausted just trying to wash all these dishes. I also think my biggest advice would be to plan ahead. If you have a menu that you're making, make it so far ahead of time that you have plenty of opportunities to go grocery shopping and get everything you need, and just really try to set up in the days beforehand so that the day of you're breathing and you're just excited to hang out with your friends and family and you're not stressing about all the little details. And now I can take you to our bathroom where I made a few changes for our guests. Let's go. So this is our bathroom, and normally we have some blue and white Wheezy towels that Wheezy gifted me that perfectly match this shower curtain that I found on Facebook Marketplace, and these curtains that I sewed myself. If you look very closely, you can definitely tell, but they do the job and they're cute, so it's fine. But today I have these really precious pink towels that Means and Carney Interiors has, and they're from Cherish. And I just think they're so Galentines, they're perfect. So I put these here, and then I have this adorable little vase from Means and Carney that I put in here too. And something that I think is very important when you're having guests over is make sure the bathroom is clean, because everybody's probably gonna see the bathroom, right? So making sure that you've cleaned the sink, cleaned the toilet, cleaned the floors, and I also really like to light a candle just so it smells so good. And yeah, that's another little hosting tip for you. And now I will take y'all to the kitchen where I can show y'all the charcuterie board and the dessert bar that we have set up. So I have the dessert bar here. I found all of these treats at Trader Joe's. We have some jelly heart cookies, some cake balls, and some macaroons, and then these rice crackers. One of my guests is gluten-free, and Trader Joe's made that so easy, and they're also on theme for Galentine's, which is perfect. So I guess that is another tip, is make sure you pay attention to your guests' dietary restrictions. But I also really like to always have a non-alcoholic drink option on hand, because you just never know. Like, some people may have stuff going on afterwards, some people may not want to drink. You never know the reason, and I think it's always just kind of thoughtful to have something fun that's not just like sparkling water or lemon water for your guests who may not want to drink. So I found this sparkling berry lemonade, and I have this glassware from Means and Carney, and then this silver tray that I found at an estate sale. And I am going to put this in here right before the guests come over, because this has been chilling in the fridge. And I have these beautiful little plates for the desserts that they can take over to the table while we're doing the candles. So I think that'll be fun. And I can show y'all the charcuterie board. So I've kind of already set this up a little bit. I just have to put the crackers on here, but I have some gluten-free options for my friend who does not eat gluten. And then I have just some fig and olive crisps, and then these cute little mini heart cookies that are very Galentines. And I think for Galentine's charcuterie board, you can incorporate some sweets on it. So I will put this together, and then I'm gonna leave this here. So when guests walk in, they'll see the tablescape, come in here, get some food. Normally, I would want to have this kind of a little bit more in the center of everything, but this is the floor plan I have, so we're gonna work with that. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to add to this is some blackberries, because I think it's always really fun to add a little bit of fresh fruit onto a charcuterie board. So we'll put this here. And voila, this is the charcuterie board. Super easy, took me, what was that, 5 minutes? Well, I think my guests are about to be here, so let's go put the final finishing touches on the house and get everything ready. Hi, come on in. Of course, thank you so much for coming. Hello, thank you.
for having us.
Hi, thanks, so good to see you. Love the earrings. Hello, honey. Hi. Come on in. Here's some rosé. Here you go. All right, y'all, let's head over to the dining room. Let's do this. So what we're gonna do is everyone has their 2 taper candles, and then these little candlesticks. These are for y'all to take home, and then we have wax candle pens. So what we're gonna do is you can use these to decorate the candles, and then we'll just let them dry while we eat, and then you can take them home. So yeah, yes. And everybody has some SJ Bailey coat earrings to the side there for each of y'all. Yay! So, woohoo! Yeah, oh my gosh, open them, please. Yeah. Of course.
These are great. Thank you.
These are
Thanks.
right now. Yay! Oh my gosh, you can if you want.
I've been wanting said ones. I was actually
Me too.
Good. I'm so glad.
Every time we hang out.
Yay, please do. Oh my gosh. I hope so. Like friendship bracelets with earrings.
Friendship bracelets for you.
But earrings, make them earrings. Wait, yay.
So perfect.
Thank you. Thanks. Well, I appreciate y'all taking so much time out of your day to do this. So thank you for coming. And happy Galentine's. So we can spill tea and it's fine. Yes. All right, perfect. Okay. What I love most about hosting is just creating memories for my friends and family. I love them so much, and it just feels like such a privilege to be able to invite them into my home and hang out with them and just create an experience that they remember forever. And I think also kind of utilizing the senses. So having great lamp lighting and maybe not using the overhead lights, and lighting candles so that it smells so good. You know, you always remember smells. You may not remember other things, but I always feel like if I smell a candle, it takes me back to whatever the memory attached and associated with that is. So just creating a fun ambiance and experience for the people I love. Well, Homeworthy, thank you so much for coming to my Galentine's party, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!
Hi, Homeworthy. Welcome to Hillside Farm. I'm Bob McKeaney. I know you're probably expecting Ruth, but today is a special day. It's Valentine's Day, and I came home early from work to surprise her. I'm going to actually cook her dinner instead of her doing something special for me. She's up at the house right now. I'm not sure what she's doing, but how am I going to accomplish that? I'm going to send her on a scavenger hunt and send her about the town while she's out and about. Anders and I are going to cook a chicken dinner with some mac and cheese and even attempt a creme brulee. So let's go see if we can find Ruth and get this surprise started.
I'm Ruth McKeaney, and this year I'm inviting Homeworthy to join my family for all of our annual highlights at Hillside Farm, our 305-year-old farmhouse steeped in history and love. After decades of flipping houses, my husband Bob and I settled here where we raised our 5 children. And this year you'll join us for holiday gatherings and the upcoming wedding of our daughter, happening right here at Hillside, where we welcome your company as we share in the simple pleasures of life at home. I'll offer tips from my book, Hungry for Home, to help infuse your own home with moments of joy, filling home-cooked meals with flavor for the whole family, and of course decorating with amazing antique finds. So sit back and make yourself at home.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
All right, now it's time to find Ruth. I have to start this scavenger hunt. I have prepared some riddles for her, 3 of them, and the first of which I have to hand her now so she can get started on her scavenger hunt and I can start cooking this surprise dinner for her. So come with me. Ruth?
Yes? Don't come in here.
I have a surprise for you.
Okay, you can't come in here.
It doesn't matter. I need you to open the door a little bit. Take this piece of paper. It's a surprise for you.
Oh, okay.
And follow what it says.
All right. But you're not allowed in here.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Love you.
I have a clue. A treasure awaits, a place filled with grace, where beauty and style find their own special space. A dear friend awaits, for decades she's near, with treasures to dazzle, both charming and clear. Once of the lemon, so French and so fine, now in wane, her new space will surely shine. To find where to go, take a trip down the lane to the M main L Line's great showroom. Can you guess its name? It's ML's gift shop. I know it. She used to own the French lemon. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. He hasn't done anything like this in like 20 years. But before I go, I want to show you. So I am married to somebody who doesn't like presents, and he doesn't like gifts at Christmas, his birthday. Presents just don't matter. But what matters to him is if you do something that takes time. So I have been working for literally 2 days on all our closets, particularly our bedroom closet. Since we have such an old house, I mean, Bob built this shelving here, but the shelves are really narrow and we don't have a lot of closet space. So I'm surprising him. I mean, you should have seen this room. It was covered. The whole floor was covered. Everything was covered. I've taken a lot of my things out so he has more space in the closet, and I have done my very best to make it beautiful so he's surprised. Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. I get to go on a scavenger hunt. All right, this is so much fun. I love an adventure. I can't believe Bob's doing this. We've been married 26 years, and he did this when we were first married. But because we were always working so much on houses or had the kids everywhere, we didn't do a lot of celebrating for Valentine's Day. And so, you know, it's not about the big gifts. It's about this person spent time doing something to surprise you with something they know you'll love. And for me, that was organizing and cleaning for Bob. And he knows I love when he thinks in advance and plans something. So this is super, super special. So Bob's first clue, I figured out, took me to a woman, her name is ML. She used to own the store, the French Lemon in Wayne, And 25 years ago when I moved here, that's where I used to buy my special gifts. And she's got a new shop that's been open for a while, and this is where it sent me. So let's see why I'm here. Hi. Hey.
Hello. Nice to see you.
You too.
Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. So this is Amel, and like I said, when we moved to Philadelphia area 25 years ago, her store, the French Lemon, probably had, I mean, everything was pretty much one of a kind.
And that's my hope.
That's your hope.
Going forward, it's been 25 years, and I'm going back to the original name, the French Lemon. I had a big shop in Chestnut Hill then, and a big shop here in Wayne, and now I'm smaller.
Yeah.
It's just me, and we're going back to one of a kinds, and
French Lemon.
just fun. Well, I always do the florals, but yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that makes me excited.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So I come here for all hostess gifts or even gifts for all my daughters. They just love. She has exquisite taste. So, and Bob sent me this because
he did a little gift for you.
He sent for a gift, and he has my
And your
next clue. My next clue says, "Where blooms abound in colors bright, a hidden treasure waits in sight. In Valley Forge, a charming space with gifts and coffee to embrace. Sip and smile, take some time to stay. A little gift is on the way." Number 2. All right. Can I shop for 2 seconds? I want to just look around for 2 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
We just have all new Valentine and Easter things are coming in, and of course you can always come in and have a floral made. Yep, those are horn.
Oh, they're horn? Mm-hmm. They're beautiful.
Thank you.
I love these bud vases. I think I saw them the last time I was here. Those are beautiful. And these are all vintage, right?
Correct.
Beautiful. I think I know where this place is, and it's only because it says Valley Forge.
That's a good hint.
That's a good hint.
That's a great place, too.
I think it's a great place. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll be back with my daughters.
Great.
Because I want a
Awesome.
couple of those scarves, the
Sounds
Hermes
good.
scarves. All right. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Good luck. Have a nice evening.
All right, so we're here in the kitchen. Ruth is out on her scavenger hunt. I'm here with my son, Anders. And now it's trying to prepare a meal. And we need to do it in time that when she gets back from her scavenger hunt, we are done. So we're starting the meal off today with a simple chicken recipe. And we have a chicken that we bought from the store here. And we have the oven preheated behind us at 350 degrees to make this process speed along. And first thing is simple recipe is I'm going to have Anders pat down the chicken to dry the outside. So simple enough, just pat it down. We're going to make sure we put nice, lots of salt and pepper on the inside. Nice plenty in there. All right, so we just got done salt and peppering the chicken. I just put the chicken in the pan here. Anders, if you can roll out these pieces of garlic to get all the skins off them, and then we'll put them in the chicken. And then you can cut some onion and some lemon and get everything prepared for the chicken. So what is this idea of Ruth going away on a scavenger hunt? Where did this come about? Well, it's interesting where, you know, as a man, it's so hard to think about how a woman thinks or how she wants to be blessed or some fun things that she would like to do. So I've learned early in marriage to ask her friends or her sister or somebody that she's very close to as to what would they love that would totally bless them. So meanwhile, let's put the clothes in here. If you can cut this top and bottom. We just put the clothes right into the chicken here. So back in our first house renovation, I did a scavenger hunt with my wife when I had her sister get involved with showing up when I was in the middle of renovating the house, and I left to go to Home Depot, and as soon as I left, her sister showed up and said, "Go to your room, go shower, you're leaving in 30 minutes," and gave her a clue of what she was supposed to do. So she follow those directions. And that went over so well. She went to one place and got some wine glasses and went to another place and got a gift, and eventually ended up at a dinner where I was cleaned up after working on the house and had an amazing dinner together, just the two of us with two little kids being babysat by her sister. So I wanted to do the same thing today. Are these cut up?
Yep.
Okay. So you take the onions.
I got the rest.
And you sprinkle them around the outside of the chicken. All right, so we need this cut in two, please. You can do it. So that's what inspired me today to do this scavenger hunt. I haven't done one in a while, so I figured it was time for her to be treated and blessed again. So you take the lemon and literally just cut it in half. And this bird is nicely stuffed with all the... and
looks good.
It looks good. Then we're going to put lots of salt and pepper on the top. And then we have the melted butter. And the melted butter we pour all over this thing, and this will allow it to, when it's done cooking, it'll be nice and brown and keep the moisture in. And so we just pour the butter over everything. And this...
You might add a little bit more salt and pepper on the legs.
Okay, you can do that.
Maybe on the butt.
And that is as difficult as it needs to be. This chicken is ready to go in the oven. It will cook for about an hour on 350, which the oven is preheated behind me. And let's put the bird in the oven.
Okay, I can't wait to see what he did. I can't even wait until I get to the next place. Oh, so Bob knows I got a new spring purse and I like to tie scarves onto my purses. So he got me one of those scarves to put on for the spring. Awesome, I love it. And now we're going to another favorite place. It's called, I think it's Valley Florist, which has an amazing barn with all sorts of one-of-a-kind finds, as well as amazing florals. And the woman who owns it, or the woman who, well, is in charge there, has her own shop on QVC. So hopefully, maybe Barb will be there when we come. So let's go. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. You can hand it to me right now. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, we're gonna go. Valley Forge Flowers has a barn, which has some of my very favorite things. Come on, let me show you. Hey!
Good
How
afternoon.
are you?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Always
I'm so
great.
excited.
See Ruth in the house.
house. So I want to introduce you to Barb. So
Hi,
Barb
everyone.
is third generation
I
family
am.
owns this place.
Yes, it's really amazing.
And your children are now working, so that'll be 4 generations.
yeah, so it's
she
a
has-
family affair.
And she has her own show on QVC, which sells all the fabulous finds that you can find here. What
So
is the show
exciting.
you have?
Well, it's Barbara King Home and Garden.
Okay.
And it's pieces that have worked in the flower shop in our little town. And then we think about it for the whole country.
Okay.
And what we can tweak in the different items
Okay.
and make for the whole country. It is so much fun to create and design,
To
as
create
you
and
would
design.
know.
I know. So it's been fun ever since I first met her. She's been one of my champions. So it's so
Oh, yeah.
good to see you.
So
I got
thrilled
my
for you.
third video, or my third clue for my husband. So we're doing a Valentine's night, and I thought I was cooking Valentine's Day dinner, and the whole twist is he's home cooking, and he sent me on a scavenger hunt. So one of the places was here, and I got flowers, and now
Oh my
I just got
goodness.
my third little thing.
Oh,
and
how fun.
I know, we're gonna go to the next place.
I love it.
Thank
Keeping
you.
it fresh, right?
Keeping it fresh, exactly. Fresh, oh my God. Here's what it says. From top to bottom, it's time for some care, a place for your feet with comfort to spare. Polish and pamper, relaxation in tow. Where should you go? Well, you already know. I think I know where I'm going. I think it's head to toe. Let's go see.
Okay, now we're on to the creme brulee. I am blessed with a helper, which is page 297 of my wife's book, Hungry for Home. So what I have in front of me here are 5 eggs with a half cup of sugar, half cup of brown sugar, which is to be used at the end when you put it on top of the creme brulee, 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. We have some vanilla, and then ultimately we have some berries and blueberries and raspberries to put on top when we are done. So the first thing we need to do is crack 5 eggs. So while he's cracking the eggs,
One successful.
one thing that's amazing about Ruth and I's journey is it all started actually in a kitchen. Funny enough is that we met at a dinner party, and how I ran into her, it was in my apartment, and she all of a sudden, I find her in the kitchen cleaning the dishes. And I actually had to tell her to get out of the kitchen because that is not her place. Little did I know that was where she felt most comfortable. So that's how, by the way,
We're good.
Are we good?
Yes.
We didn't get egg on anything yet. We're good.
A little
so that's how
toughy.
Ruth and I first met, was in a kitchen, which is ironic that we're standing here today. But then over the years, just our relationship together as far as how do we keep things with life, with dating and with having fun things like this scavenger hunt today. You have to be just being intentional with it, and being intentional that you always have creative things. So it's once again always tapping into what's your best resources. And for me, in the beginning years it was asking her friends, but since then, and I've been blessed with 4 daughters, is now I have 4 daughters who I can tap into and ask them, how can I bless your mother? What can I do to bless your mother? Because my brain doesn't think that way. So now that Anders has cracked all the eggs, the first step is to put just the yolks of the eggs into a bowl.
Make sure to drain it.
This is like a steady hand. Look at this. Very impressive. When I did meet Ruth that first time in the kitchen, it was not love at first sight. It was kind of not even a thought of that. We were fortunate enough that after about 2 to 3 weeks of just getting to know one another, we were able to go for a long car ride together. We were traveling to go see my parents, and so we spent 4 or 5 hours in the car and we just talked. And during that time, that's when we really learned about who each other were and that we did have some type of an attraction for one another. So it didn't really happen then, but it's a vivid memory of mine that it happened in the kitchen. So we put the eggs in here. So we're going to mix it with the sugar, correct? What's it say?
Whisk cream.
Cream, yolks, sugar, and vanilla together. So I was told to do sugar, tablespoon of vanilla.
Perfect.
And then I'll mix this up a little bit, and then we will mix in the cream. And by the way, don't pull a guy move and start putting brown sugar in the actual batter, because that's for later. I probably learned the hard way once.
That looks like pumpkin pie.
Yes, will
filling.
you mix that up, please?
Yeah.
So while we mix this up, I had the oven preheated to 275. When you're cooking creme brulee in the oven, you cook it in a pan. And in that pan, you actually put water in there. And what that does, it then helps the creme brulee cook evenly. So the water itself, you put like almost a quarter inch of water in the bottom of the pan, whatever pan you might be using. And the the water heating up to also that 275 temperature will help the creme brulee cook evenly. So
Now we gotta pour
we got to pour these
the
four.
mixture in the ramekins.
Yep. Can you do that evenly?
I'll
Do I
try.
trust you?
Sure.
Awesome.
You can trust me. Mix a little bit in the bottom.
I think we're doing pretty good.
Not
make
bad
sure-
for first timers.
Should we make sure Mom takes the first bite?
A little more this one, and I'll just finish it off with this one.
That's good. Okay. So now that we've evenly distributed the batter up in these 4 bowls, we will then put them into the oven. Would you like to do that, sir?
Sure.
Okay.
Why
Put
not?
Carefully, and remember there's water in there, so as you put them in there,
Don't burn yourself, that's for sure.
you can stay down there.
Ah. It dripped.
There's only 4 going on that pan, so
Yeah.
now that they're in the oven, they are to bake for 50 to 65 minutes. And when at the end, when we test them, you're going to put a knife into the actual batter or into the creme brulee, and it will come out with a little bit of stuff on it. But what they call the jello effect is, or the jiggle effect is actually if you take one and move it a little bit, the batter itself will stay almost like a jello jiggle type of thing. So that's when you know they're done. So let them sit in, and next we'll go into the mac and cheese with what?
Bacon.
Yes. So let's get that set up and ready to go.
The minute Bob's clue said head to toe pampering, I knew exactly what he was talking about. My favorite place to get a pedicure is Head to Toe Spa. And we all know it's not about the paint color, it's not about the actual pedicure, it's about the kind of foot rub you get. So come join me, I'm so excited. This is my favorite place because I get to go to sleep for an hour, and I can't wait to see what is actually happening at home with Bob, because Bob and Anders don't know how to cook. They know how to make cereal. So I'm very excited to see what's going on at home. I could have sat in that chair for the rest of the day. Anyway, but I'm even more excited to see what's going on at home. Let's go see.
Hey, welcome home.
That was awesome.
That's awesome.
That was wonderful. I love you.
I love you.
Thank you. I
You're
love
welcome.
you.
You're not allowed in this way.
Oh, I'm not?
Nope. So
What's going on?
well,
Here, can I
and
hand you this?
I'll take this.
Because there's flowers right there.
Yes, but you must go in the back door.
Okay.
All right, and because a
Well,
surprise
well,
is being prepared in the kitchen.
Okay. Well, then, one good turn deserves another. I have a surprise for you. So why don't you meet me at the back door? Okay?
All right.
And I'm going to show you what I did for you.
Okay.
All
Looking
right.
forward to it.
Hello again.
Can I help you?
Yes.
Come on
I
in.
love you.
So what kind of surprise do you have for me? Because
I'm really excited because you know how you don't like presents?
That's
So
an understatement.
It's an understatement, I'm aware. So, but I know you love it when someone does something to surprise you. So I want you to come upstairs, but when you get to the top of the stairs, you're gonna close your eyes. Okay. All right. All right, you're gonna close your eyes up here.
They are closed.
Close your eyes.
My eyes are closed.
Okay. 3 stairs, in case you don't know after. Now don't
All right.
open your eyes. What's one of your pet peeves?
Your clothes hanging out of closets and you taking up 90% of the closets in this room.
Okay, I want to show you what I
what'd you
did
do?
for your Valentine's Day gift.
What do we got?
All right.
Wow. You were hard at work.
I know.
That's amazing.
This actually took me days, and I don't laugh, but you know that this is not something I enjoy doing. So this was a labor of love for you.
This is beyond. That is
So,
amazing.
do you
Thank
like
you
it?
so
You're
much.
welcome,
This is
baby.
amazing.
You're welcome.
What a blessing.
And I did a lot of like getting rid of things. Wait, that's just one.
What
Ready?
else?
I want you to notice, where does your stuff start?
Halfway.
Halfway.
We'll have to document that. I'm gonna mark the pole exactly where halfway is.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
how's that?
awesome.
You like
Awesome.
that?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is a true blessing.
Thank you.
And how many other closets do I get? That's it?
That's the only one you get.
This is great. Thank you.
You're welcome. When do I get to come downstairs?
We're just finishing things up right now, so you can probably have 20 to 30 minutes by yourself, and then we'll have
Okay.
everything ready.
I'll read a book.
Okay.
All right, come get me.
All right,
I
love you.
Okay.
All right, so now, chicken, done?
Yes.
That was easy.
Creme brulee.
Done.
And
that was
now?
easy. Now, what
Mac
you
and
think is
cheese.
mac and cheese. This is a big challenge because are we doing Kraft mac and cheese?
No.
No. We're actually going to try something like original recipe. So this is so far out of our league, but I think we can do it. And so
We got this.
we got this. So what we have is we're going to actually create our own roux, which will then put the cheese into the whole sauce. So meanwhile, while we're starting that process, Anders, here is a box of noodles. It's 1 pound, which you can put on the heat. You just have to let it cook for about 15 minutes. You can choose any noodle you want. We are choosing a rigatoni because that's what we had in the closet. So we can go that route. Meanwhile, I'm going to start a roux.
Should I wait for this to start boiling or no?
Hey, why don't you wait till it starts boiling? And that's medium heat. And I'm going to start a roux here in this red pan. And the first thing I do is take a stick of butter and put that in the pan.
Plop.
And give that a minute or two for that stick of butter to start melting. And the whole idea behind it is we are creating this roux while the noodles, which take about 15 minutes to cook. So we now, once those noodles go in, we have 15 minutes to create the sauce from a base, from a roux, and then bring it all the way to. And then eventually we will put the noodles, strain them, put them in this white bowl, and just lather them with
Big bowl.
cheese. And what else is in the cheese?
Bacon.
Bacon. Yes, Anders' favorite. So we have a wide variety of cheese. So what we have here is we have some Gouda cheese that is grated. We have some sharp cheddar cheese. So that's just a little bit of a unique combination of those two types of cheeses. And then we also will require some nutmeg, some garlic powder, some paprika, and some Dijon mustard, and some half and half, which will be utilized for the sauce.
And flour.
We have some flour here that will help start the whole thing. So the cheese was grated beforehand by
Yours truly.
Cheese Master. It's one thing about it with Anders and I, because Ruth fell in love with cooking and is always creating here. You actually cook more than I do.
I probably have. I don't. wouldn't
You've
say
learned over
I
the years.
Normally cook.
So we
at
don't get a
all.
chance to do this. This is kind of actually fun that we can do this while she's not here. we're kind of in her space. So I have my
Taking over.
My butter is now melted. So I am going to take 4 tablespoons of flour, which has already been pre-measured.
Next we have to do is add 4 cups of half and half.
4 cups of half and half.
This is 4 cups.
Is that 4 cups?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Because it says 1 quart, which is 4 cups.
There you go. So instead of using a measuring cup, we're just using the carton.
I'll whisk as you pour.
Okay. With the whisk, joint.
Joint effort back here.
How's your noodles over there? How's your water?
It's getting little bubbles, but wait a second, and then I'll pour the noodles in.
Okay. There is our
Geronimo! Ah! Hot.
Okay.
Successful.
So we've put in the flour, the 4 cups of half and half. Now we need a half of
4
a...
4 cups of half and
4
half.
cups.
4 tablespoons of flour.
Yes, so we need a half a tablespoon of paprika. That's nutmeg.
That's paprika.
Paprika.
A little spillage.
Was that me?
Yeah, I think that was you.
We need a half a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. This is interesting.
Cooper DeJean.
Cooper DeJean. That's a Philadelphia Eagle, isn't it?
Yeah.
1 tablespoon of garlic powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. All right, so now would you like the honor of adding the cheese?
Which one should we do first?
Or do we do it alphabetical or favorite, or what do you want to do?
Technically, they're both cheese, so you can't really do it alphabetical. Because
You have
they don't
Gouda,
have names.
Gouda or Sharp?
I know. Sharp cheese.
Take it.
I'll do Gouda first.
All right. Well, do it nicely. Will you do me the honor of getting the bacon?
Bacon. Do we put that in right now?
Yes, I need to break up the bacon into the cheese sauce.
Get a little stir on the noodles. Oh, wow. That looks divine.
Dangerous. So, Anders, I don't know if it makes it so obvious that men prepared this menu. The fact that we have chicken, mac and cheese with bacon.
And dessert.
And dessert. We don't have a vegetable.
I'm not complaining.
Okay.
Oh,
I think we're good.
it's like the geysers at Yellowstone in here. Exploding.
But vegetables, they don't feed the soul.
They don't feed this. They might feed your hunger. They don't feed the soul.
So going back to when Ruth and I first met, the fact that we met in the kitchen didn't lead on to that she was somebody who was familiar with the kitchen. I think all she knew was she knew how to do the dishes. When I first met Ruth, she was an attorney and really didn't have a love for the kitchen or have a love for the outdoors or gardening. And that was all something kind of when she gave up her career to stay home and raise our children, which was such an incredible blessing to us, and I think you've benefited because of that.
Of course.
Over all these years, she had to, that she discovered a passion that she didn't know she had. Kind of trying out new things. We would go to a restaurant and we would get a dessert and she would say, oh, I can make that better. And she would come home and recreate the dessert and actually make it better. And so it became actually something of a challenge for her to just make just things more interesting at home. Over the years, she has developed from somebody who didn't know that there was an oven in the kitchen to somebody who abuses and overuses the oven.
But she made all the food better.
But then again, she's changed because don't ever have her load a dishwasher because it's not.
Nope.
It's not safe.
Illegal.
All right, so we've reached the time of the noodles are ready to be strained. You know how to do that?
Yes, I do.
Take this, wrap on each handle, and we set up the strainer in the sink like a professional. Now that they're strained, we can take them and shake them out. Shake this strainer a little bit, get the water.
Do you want
and then
me to roll me shaking it?
you can pour the noodles into this white bowl.
Now the cheese. The best part.
And you can have the honor of whisking this out. Look at this cheese.
Oh,
This is, oh my goodness.
this looks incredible. We did it.
I am so proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
Oh,
We're just.
that's so nice. You're so. Look at that. You know, I'm glad we made some noodles to go with our cheese.
Ah, yes. You can never have too much cheese. It's hard. It's so thick.
Okay. All right, put it back in.
Oh, there's a lot.
It's okay. We can take a spatula. So what we have now is our mac and cheese, which is ready.
Ta-da!
By the way, that's awesome. So now that this is done, our chicken should be timed properly that should be getting close to being done. Let me check this and pull it out of the oven.
Let's see if the pin is out.
Nope, it still needs a little bit of time.
Should we
Probably
check
5-10 minutes left in the chicken. But
Should
you know
we-
what we could do?
Creme brulee.
Creme brulee's not done yet, but you know what we could do is you could set the table.
I could.
Why don't you go set the table?
Yeah.
All right, it's time to pull out the creme brulee. I just checked them a second ago. I stuck a knife in them and got a little bit of moisture on there, and you look at the creme brulee and it starts to jiggle a little bit, so they are ready to go. So we're gonna pull them out. And put them on a pan. Anders, will you do me a favor and put that in the refrigerator, please? It goes in the refrigerator about an hour once you realize that they are nice and cool. Anders, you want to grab the creme brulee
Yes.
from the fridge? It's been
Time
about
to
an
take
hour.
them back out.
They look good.
Yeah, they look perfect.
Awesome. So once you have them out of the refrigerator, the next thing we want to do is brown the brown sugar on the top. So take some brown sugar, about a half cup, so you can determine how much you want to put on top of each one. It's up to you. Funny story is when I first started making this, when Ruth and I were first married, we did not have access to these little torches that we have today. So at that point in time, because I was soldering some pipes at the time, I would actually pull out my soldering propane tank and light this and burn the brown sugar. So
Not today.
not today. We have a little bit safer version. And after you put the brown sugar on, you take some heat. These little things are great, and you are literally caramelizing the brown sugar on the top of the creme brulee. You got another one? Go for it. Just don't burn it. But that's the one you have to eat. Once this is like that, you
Add our
then
berries.
add some blueberries and raspberries
Or strawberries, whatever you would like.
to the top, adding some great color to it. And then I'll leave one without, because you never know. Somebody might want one without berries. So there's creme brulee. You guys can do it. We did it.
And we are two boys that really have never cooked in the kitchen.
So, all right, the time has come. We got to pull out the chicken. But before I do that, I have to acknowledge that I made a mistake.
Classic.
It's so hard to do in life, but I did it. When I cooked the chicken, I realized halfway through cooking that actually I was cooking it with the lid on. This chicken should be cooked without this lid. This lid should not be over the chicken. So the chicken should be just sitting in a pan. So we're going to pull it out.
Smells delicious.
It smells good. Looks good.
It's gonna taste good too.
Yeah. You want to go get your... Look at that. If you want to go get your mother...
Yeah.
I think you should go get your mother and go tell her that the food is ready. Before you go up there, I just want you to know how proud I am, and I can't believe we did this.
Love you.
I just can't believe it. I think Mom's going to be a little shocked.
We might take over the kitchen role.
No.
She takes over dishwasher, dishes.
No. I'll keep the dishwasher. She can keep the kitchen. Nope, she can keep the cooking. So, thanks for doing this, bud.
Thank you.
All right, go get your mother.
Mom, dinner's ready. Your surprise is awaiting.
What is it?
Chicken.
I'm trying to think what I smell. I love you.
I love you.
Where are we going?
We can leave you in here.
Look at that. That is gorgeous.
Sit wherever.
This is beautiful.
With Hattie by the fireplace.
Okay, you go out and bless your mother. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. I love you.
Do you like this nice setup?
I love it. First of all, I want to thank you. You both have made this probably, I'm going to get teary, but I think without all the girls here, you guys have made this really special. So it's really fun to have just the boys here.
And this was a way to bless you, but at the same time, it was a blessing to me being able to do this with Anders as we all create events to be
It's
together.
not as easy as it looks, is it? You would not want to do this
By the
3
way-
times a day.
By the way, we officially retire from the kitchen.
And I'm laughing because I'm like, you can tell who made this. I don't see any greens on this
Oh,
plate.
we ate them. We ate them before we served them, right?
Oh,
Yes,
man,
so
I love you
well,
guys.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for this food. And just, I just lift up Ruth on this great day. Bless her and bless this food. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you.
This is awesome.
That's great. The triple threat. That's what's left at home.
There
The
you go.
triple threat.
All right, and now if we have some creme brulee coming out.
What was the hardest thing to make?
Well, mac and cheese, because it was from scratch. It was not your typical out of a box. So that was, it was the most difficult, but actually it was not hard. if that makes any sense. So most complex, but I would do it again. It's very easy. The chicken was simple until I realized my mistake by cooking with the lid on. But other than that, it was, yeah, I mean, I could do it again. The second time, it might only take us half the amount of time the first time. All right, so we have the dessert, no creme brulee.
Oh.
So I made one without berries.
No, I want berries.
Okay.
I don't.
Shocker.
And I'll take the half berry.
Have you ever agreed to eat creme brulee, Anders?
He's never had it.
No, you always go for the chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you gonna think?
This is looking
This
good.
is delicious.
This is so good.
How is it, Anders?
Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Cher Beall. Welcome back to my home in Newport Beach, California. I'd love to share with you how I decorated some spaces for Valentine's Day and then take you into my craft room and show you some fun Valentine crafts. Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
So welcome to my formal entry. And on this mirrored table, if you remember at Christmas time, we had teal boxes and our holiday decor. And so all we had to do for Valentine's Day was change out our boxes. We've added red boxes that also work for Christmas, and little teeny vases and candles. And these little vases are just so lovely and charming. These are from Cody Foster, this lovely ornament distributor out of Nebraska. And so they just do lovely ornaments and lovely little vases. And these are from them, and we just scattered a few throughout to give us a little holiday Valentine celebration look. And then we just had our normal everyday sort of flowers or branches, vintage books and shells, but the look is just very simple, very quick to change out, and definitely announces it's Valentine's Day. So coming from the formal entry of the house, we go into the private spaces of the house, the family room and dining kitchen area. And so right in the center of this space, I have just this fun round table with a shellstone top, and I use this for serving and then also to decorate for different holidays. So I know at Christmas, you might remember we used the exact same branches and faux bois base, but see how totally different it looks when you adorn it with all these fun Valentine ornaments. So these have been collected over the years, and then, you know, some bought more recently as well. So super fun, festive, and say love and Valentine's Day. Then of course we have fresh flowers, our little box trick again, and our birds with flowers. And then this is kind of super fun. We have little bugs next to our flowers. These are actually fun ornaments that you can buy and that hang up, but I like them on my table and by my flower vases. I just think they add this little whimsical, fun, playful, funny touch to things. So the ornaments that I think are particularly funny, I kind of place by themselves and usually cut the top off. I mean, a pug and a chair and a pink velvet chair. I mean, just funny, funny stuff. Anyway, so just fun stuff, playful, and says, oh, it's Valentine's Day, let's celebrate love. So So this is actually our casual dining space. It's right open to the kitchen, but this is the space that we use the most often in terms of any family celebration or holiday. Our family is growing. We have a lot of grandchildren now and older kids, and so our numbers are multiplying, and so we need a big table when everyone gets together. So I have this set up as an idea for Valentine's Day. We started with not a red tablecloth, but sort of a muted tone, gray, fun little plates, dogs on the plates, funny things all over this woven pattern tablecloth. And then we've topped it with vintage napkins. So these are little antique guys. Our Vietre dishes and a little gray dish. And then I actually used, this is wedding stationery, a wedding type stationery, but I've used them as note cards on my table setting as a place setting, but then also because it's Valentine's Day and I wanted to send little notes of love, I have the little card inside that will be addressed to each person sitting here with why I love them so much. So these will be at every place setting, and then in addition we have all kinds of flowers and candles, sort of a mixture of pink and peach and white. And we've got our little bird vases, tiny vases, crystal vases. Most of these things are readily available, easily available. And then in addition, we've got each little place setting topped with just a little craft box that we wrapped with a velvet ribbon, put a sticker on top, and this is the little table surprise. So something very simple and fun, and I like to do this, and you'll see as we go through our other little fun table settings. So it's just a little box with a fun little pink chocolate inside. Just funny little surprises that the kids particularly love, but sort of amuse me too. Couple other fun things to note about the table setting, the details, and it's all in the details. We have butterflies on our flowers and then also around the room in various spaces. And then we have this little ornament. So I do needlepoint ornaments, as you may have seen in some of the other shows and I'll talk about later on. But so this is one way where just a fun little ornament that I made. Instead of hanging them up on my tree, I've got him right here, front and center, kind of just a playful little touch. Another thing I want to talk about is these little cones on the door. So we've got these lovely little flower cones, and they are filled with roses and just add a fun little beautiful festive touch. And I'm going to show you how to make some downstairs in my craft room in just a little bit. We're going to make all kinds. These are sort of elegant to go with our setting, but we have examples of other fun things that you might like to make for your space. So you'll notice at each end of this rather narrow dining space, I've got a piece of furniture that I use to store linens, so table linens and serving platters, that sort of thing. And then it's awesome for using to serve for lunch, dinner, dessert, whatever. So I usually have it set up with a buffet here. So as designers, we're all about creativity. So I wanted to bring you back to this kitchen dining space again and show you just a couple other fun options and ideas for table settings for Valentine's Day. So this is a much simpler setting. So we don't want it to be as formal. We want it to be maybe a little more playful. So what we've done is no tablecloth on this, and we've just used a Hester and Cook table runner down the center. So it's paper, it's bright and fun. It's something that can be used for a Valentine's Day or a birthday party. It's just a fun idea to add color to your table in an inexpensive way. In addition to our striped table runner, we've got our towers with Gerber daisies and of course our frogs. So we have these funny little ceramic frogs that I've made different little hats for. We have different crowns on different frogs, and then even one with a regular kind of super party hat and a big tassel on the end of him. So we all think about kissing the frog and how waiting for our Prince Charming. And so we have our table set with all kinds of frogs, and it just is a little bit, to me, it's funny. In addition to just our standard white dishes and chargers, we've got these simple little heart plates with a fun little ornament on top that just feels festive and that you could have as a take-home gift for your family or your friends. This setting perhaps feels younger and more celebratory and almost like welcome to the Valentine party. I just want to share a simple creative idea on what we've used for our centerpiece vases in this table setting. So this table setting is sort of fun and poppy, very party-ish, young again. But what we've done here that is kind of a fun idea that you could all do as well is we took a Valentine box. So this is just like Target or any craft store has these Valentine boxes that kids can assemble and make into different shapes. And we cut a bigger opening, put them together, put a bigger opening, and then put a vase inside for our flowers. And it just makes a fun, simple, inexpensive, cute, playful vase for your centerpiece. To go along with our garden Valentine scene, we'd added our little playful pots, felt pots, and these are from World Market, and put flowers inside them, little teeny vases with flowers inside. And then we have daisy napkin rings and of course our little garden frogs. So very simple, very clean. Most of the things you can use for other holidays or throughout the season, with the exception of our fun little Valentine vases. Coming through the kitchen, we're gonna end up here at our breakfast banquet area. And I have this set up for a morning breakfast or a cookie party for my grandkids. And so you see things being very light and fresh and playful and very young. And what we've got going on here is we've got little heart ornaments, and we've got our fun little pussy willow branches, and it's set up with fun little bee plates, and then also these little scalloped paper plates and chargers, fun little heart napkins, and then of course another one of my needlepoint accessories. So these are not ornaments, these are little stand-up. It's a little village, a little chapel of love, and a little flower shop, and the little characters that go along with it. So these were little fun little needlepoint designs that I did years ago, and then am slowly adding to stitching the others that go with the village. But you can see they sort of are front and center kind of, and make a fun little addition, my little crafty addition to a normal table setting. The other fun thing about this is we all think of these little candy hearts when we think of Valentine's Day as a kid especially. And so I've taken a little garland of these little wooden Valentines and cut it apart to make just these little separate ornaments that then I can place about the table and tie onto the packages, and it just makes your budget go farther, and it's just a playful way to have a lot of ornaments in one string that you can take apart. I also did that here on my chandelier. If you remember at Christmas time, I hung the little lovely stars, and this was actually a garland. And I cut it apart, put little silver thread and hung them to just give a little fanciful look here to our space. So throughout the table you will see my fun mugs that have sweaters on them. So is there anything better than to drink your hot chocolate out of a sweater mug? There's just something super fun and sweet about them. Next, we have little piñatas. So kids love piñatas. So we have these tiny piñatas filled with candy and little toys, fun little trinkets like erasers, things like that are just fun little surprise for the table and for the grandkids. So now let's move into the family room. Follow me. Now we're in the family room, and I just wanted things to be very simple. Because the table settings are so elaborate and so detailed, I wanted to give you space to breathe. So we just kind of left things pretty much like they are, and then added just a few simple touches of pink candles, red tulips, our little packages, and then just a simple little decor above the fireplace. Trying to keep things super calm in here. So coming from the family room, we go to the outside porch. And this is a deck that when we remodeled, we added. And it's really only 12 feet, but it functions tremendously well for our family, for both casual dining and then also just hanging out. So it's sort of a great use of space for 12 feet in depth. This table setting is set for family or friends, for lunch or for dinner. And what we've done here is our normal white dishes, a charger, and these fun plates from Williams-Sonoma. Just a little floral pattern, and it adds a touch of femininity, and they can be used not just at Valentine's Day, but any time of the year. But what does add the Valentine touch is our little heart napkins, and then our beautiful heart boxes are actually a Target find that we have retrofitted, and I will show you how we did this in our craft room. So we've added, so it's fun, we have candy inside, a little card on the top, and we've done a fun applique to the bottom. A little decoupage exercise. In addition to these lovely little heart boxes, we have our planters that we have burned messages into. One says KB loves CB, and the other one says I love you, but you could do any sort of message you want, and we're also going to show you how to do that in the craft room. And it just makes a fun surprise to the table. You could carve all sorts of messages. In addition, we have doodlebug candy spread throughout and different sorts of flowers. So it just feels fun and fresh and Valentine-ish. Although we purchased these, I'm going to show you how to make some of your own in the craft room. These can be used for gifts or flowers. You can see I have them hanging on the back of the chairs and also on the back of the doors. And they're just super fun and announce the holiday. I have 5 grandchildren and sometimes up to 9 grandchildren because my eldest daughter is also a foster parent, and so sometimes she'll show up with 9 children under 10. So I've set the table today in hopes that they're coming by and I want them to feel special and loved and cared about on Valentine's Day. And so in this case, we've done some very simple, funny things. We used Mr. Potato Head mugs and stuffed them with daisies, and we used our banana float boats and filled them with candy and put little heart plates. So one of the best parts about this table setting is our black table runner that is from Hester & Cook, and it's super fun. We have chalk markers, and so the table can share a box of chalk markers and write messages to each other. Or silly sayings. To make our table extra fun, we've used banana napkins, and we've also used little bug candles everywhere. So everything just has sort of a sense of playfulness and unexpected Valentine decor. Patio, I want to show you what we've done in our outside pool cabana. This little little French cart is a cart I typically have outside by my front gate. But for the occasion, we brought it here by the cabana because we thought it would be more fun and festive. For our table setting, we just have a round table with rattan chairs, and we've actually used a bed quilt as our tablecloth here. So we are often improvising when we can't find exactly what we want for our tablecloth and we don't want to have something custom made, then I'll often resort to using quilts or sheets or just yards of fabric, throwing it over a table. And in this case, it makes a super fun tablecloth for us, and then we've got an undercloth that hits the ground, but it kind of works super perfect in this space. Got all kinds of daisies and Gerber daisies, again, fun packages. And above the fireplace, we've got 3 different garlands by all different manufacturers that we've combined, and of course a heart-shaped balloon, because balloons seem to be super trendy and popular, and it just added that sense of party and fun to our small space. On the back of the chairs, I've got these little mailboxes that were actually from Pottery Barn Kids years ago, and they just are super fun to be able to put little notes inside, and of course my grandkids love them. So we've got different versions around the table, and it just makes it fun to leave notes in for the ones you love. So welcome to my craft room, and I'm going to show you how we put together some of the little goodie bags and things that we did upstairs on the table settings, and then I'm also going to show you some fun Valentine gift ideas. I find inspiration for new Valentine projects everywhere. I literally see them all year long, and I will look at something and think, oh, that's so fun, I need to save that. In fact, you'll see I have boxes that are well constructed, and I save them knowing I can make a Valentine box out of it. Or for instance, these little guys, I see something, and obviously this looks like a heart, but all kinds of things make me think, oh, what can I make out of it? And then particularly if I see something that reminds me of someone that I love, then I love to use it as a gift for them. And so I will collect those things literally throughout the year. But almost anything, an image, a lace, a trim, anything can be an inspiration for some sort of creative endeavor on my part. All the things I'm going to show you today can be adapted for other holidays or other occasions. And you will see, and in fact, I don't mind pointing out as we go along, I'm going to show you some different options, just so you think, oh gosh, maybe I don't sew, or maybe I don't like cutting out little things. Here are other ways to think about using the same concept as a gift or as a craft. So we'll start with something as simple as a little plant that we were able to pick up just like this at the grocery store or Trader Joe's, something like that. And then what we've done is customize 2 different plants so you could see how we personalized it and made it a much more thoughtful gift. So in this case, we take our little plant out, unwrap it, and we put it in a lovely pot, put a little velvet ribbon, put a Valentine and some little ornaments, and it becomes just a sweet, sweet little table setting. It could be a centerpiece, it could be a gift for a friend. And then our second one, we did the same thing. We took our little potted plant, in this case our tulips, and we put them in these little bark planters. And these are available from most craft stores or a supply place, a garden supply place. And so this is super fun because we can carve it like a tree. So you saw the planters upstairs, and you can initial it where it looks like it's been carved into a tree by just using this little heat tool. And so I'll show you, my heat tool is heating up, and I'm going to unplug them for a minute, so I won't be able to do it quite like I normally would, but you could basically say whoever your love is. You know, Jamie loves Susie or whatever it is. You could put initials, KB loves CB. And so you heat up your little tool. There's different little ends that you can buy for this. You can buy one of these at a craft store, and then you literally are just writing with it. And it looks like you've carved into a tree. So honestly, I think this is like a very simple but romantic gift. You have to be careful with it, but it's kind of super fun, very simple. You could write all kinds of messages on here. And I would say one word of advice is that the smoother the planter is, the easier it is to carve in. And when it's got a lot of texture to it, it's kind of super pretty, but it's just harder to, and you're not carving, you're actually burning into it. So you have to be a little bit careful with it. So we have our K, hopefully you can read that. KB plus CB. To make this extra personal as well, we also made our own little tags. And so this is just little craft paper with a stamped XO and little tape on here, and then you can write your message, and it's tied on with twine. But it just looks a little more crafty and homemade, and like you wanted to do something special. The next thing we want to talk about is these little boxes that are just these little cute Target boxes that I picked up, and I thought, oh, what could I do that would be fun with these? And so to make it special, what we did was I found an image that I thought just looked like, oh, we're, fainting in love over here. And so we just traced it around the image where we wanted. So this was just an image out of a book that we thought was lovely, sort of look romantic, and would be something sort of my girlfriends might like. And so we just literally traced around it, cut it out, and then we decoupaged it on the bottom of it. So we just placed it on the bottom, and see how cute and surprising that looks. And with that, we just brushed it on with a Mod Podge. And so it dries, we use the flat so it dries clear, and it's just this fun little surprise when you turn it over on the bottom. Then we tied on a ribbon with, again, a little romantic tag, and we filled it with chocolate. So you could fill it with whatever you wanted, but it makes a fun little keepsake and a nice little thing for the table, or a nice little thing that you could give a girlfriend. And these could also be spray painted if you wanted to give it a totally different look. For us, the red looked, we thought it was super cute, and it was an easy craft because it was something we could pick up and then just add to, kind of like these, like personalize it, but it makes it very simple and just an easier thing to do. I may have an overall objective when I'm starting something, but I think the fun of it is when you get into it and you start discovering, oh, well, isn't this beautiful? I think I'll try this. And then you think, oh, well, wait a minute, that would be more beautiful if I added a button or if I added a trim. It's very similar to what I do as a job, where I'm thinking about creating overall, what is my objective and my look, but then also how do those details come together to add and make it special. I think of Valentine's Day maybe differently than some people. Valentine's Day, it feels like the least romantic day to me. I mean, someone having to bring roses and having to show up with candy doesn't feel very authentic to me. And I think love is in the nuances of behavior. It's a look, it's a knowing, it's someone knowing you well. And so for me, it is not, Valentine's Day is not the most romantic day of the year, but it's a day that I love because I get to share my love for all of the people that I love. So it's super fun for me as a creative person to make these little gifts and do these little things. that say, oh, I love you, and I want you to know that you are so loved by me. So here's a simple little gift that I made for my son. So my son lives in New York City. He's a guy, so he's not gonna want pink, he's not gonna want red. So what I did for him that I think is a fun creative idea that works across the board in all kinds of ways. I basically saw this fun vintage map of New York City, and my son lives about here in the city, and I thought, and this is a rather new experience for him, he loves it, and so I thought it would be fun to use this map. We copied it. We copied it onto a tag board and then cut it out to a size. I ordered this little tray, and this is a little tray that's magnetized on the back side. And so I cut the image to the size that I wanted it, making sure that I had the location where my son lives and that he might want to remember. And then I cut it out and put it I just slipped it in, and it's magnetized. So, and then I'm going to show you how it's wrapped, and then I'll take it off so you could see it. And then to make it like super kind of fun and masculine, I've got a fun little note card and with this cutout with a heart, and it's going to say, I love New York, but not as much as you. And so this will be just a sweet little thing, and then the idea is that he can use it to put his glasses, sunglasses, his keys, little things that change, things like that. And I'm gonna unwrap it. I wanted you to see how pretty it was wrapped up. So one thing with this is once I'm finished with the gift, of course, I kind of can't help but decorate it by the way I wrap it. And so one thing to note here is that I've used a couple different kinds of ribbon and then even a little leather strip, and I tied it on with various tags that some I made, some I bought, and then even put beads on the end just to make it feel special. But I wanted you to see what it is. So it basically is just a little small tray that you could put your sunglasses, your glasses, your keys, whatever, set it by your door, inside your dresser if you want, if you don't want to look at it. But it's just a little memento of this is where he was at this time in his life. But this is an idea that I think is so fun because you can use it in so many ways. This works for a guy, or maybe it isn't where they live, but maybe it's a favorite spot that they've been, or a romantic place that you've been with someone. So it's an image that can be magnetized to the back. So super fun. Another way that I would use this is by doing a needle point. Like if this was for a girlfriend, here's a different tray, and this guy is not magnetized on the back. He does not have a separate thing on the back, but if he did, then this would be a fun idea for a girlfriend that would maybe like something that I needle pointed for her. And another idea is you could do cross stitch, and it could be a cross stitch Valentine design that went in there. So there's a lot of different things you could do, including a photograph or something. So I just wanted you to see what a fun sort of masculine idea this could be, or feminine, and it doesn't necessarily need to be just for Valentine's Day. So my next project is a funny tray for my girlfriend. And I just found this image in a book, and somehow I just get inspired by funny images that I think are funny or would be fun to play with. So this was this looked like a little seance image, and I had to photocopy him bigger and then kind of doctor him up a little bit, and then I cut him out so he was totally cut out. And then I decided that on my tray I had this little simple white tray that I spray painted to spruce him up. I cut some fun little Indian paper that is going to be decoupaged on here. So again, I'm going to use my great little bookbinding PVA type of glue to glue him down. And then what happens next is I'm going to glue this on top. So when that dries, I've got my little seance happening. And then I then I had some bubbles. So on Canva, we made these funny comments where, and then these will be decoupaged on. And I couldn't help myself, but when I looked at this, I thought, oh, this is gonna be funny. So here's what we've got. We've got our little seance, and they are predicting for the future. We predict hot, passionate, sexy love in your future. And this one's commenting, oh my. And this one's saying he's trying not to visualize that. So this is all going to get decoupaged. So it'll be just like the bottom of our little heart. It's going to feel nice and smooth. I'll put several coats on there, and then it'll be a great place for my girlfriend to serve her martinis or margaritas, don't you think? So upstairs, as we walked through the spaces, I showed you a couple different flower cones, and I told you that we would come downstairs and I would tell you how we made them. I want to show you this guy. So this guy is kind of super fun and special. This I made for a girlfriend, and I used this fun paper that has bird cages and flowers on it, and I put a fun velvet ribbon here, a silk ribbon here, and we've got these little ranunculus flowers. We tied on a little glitter ornament. And then, of course, my card says it's two women looking at each other, and they have bird cages on the top of their heads. And the girlfriend is saying to the other girlfriend, trust me, that is totally hot, about a bird cage. So, of course, we have the bird cage paper with the birds on top. And so I think he's funny, I think he's charming, and I would accompany him with another little note card that I made, that I stamped. And so this would be my little sweet Valentine gift to my girlfriend. Another example of this, in case you don't like something quite so vintage, here's a more modern version. And in this case, we have paper that has got different quotes by poets and philosophers, and it's a smaller cone. And then we accompany it with a little card and tied on with a felt heart. And then inside, I just wanted to show you, I didn't get to quite finish it with its little ribbon strap, but I wanted to show you that these little guys could be used for different things besides just flowers. And in this case, I've got a little fun zebra purse inside, and this would also be for a girlfriend. And inside the little purse, it's just a funny little thing, comes a little comb and a brush and a mirror. Little teeny, and a lipstick, of course. Little teeny guys inside that. Just what every girl needs is a purse with these funny little guys inside. So just again, like sweet, funny little gift. Not a big expensive thing, but thoughtful and fun and sweet. And you could take a favorite poem of yours or a favorite book and do something with it. You could also fill it with cookies. Anyway, all kinds of things that you could do with that. And I wanted to show you how simple. So you basically can order these cones on Amazon, and then you roll it on the paper, and it is easiest if you line it up straight with the paper like this, and then you roll it. And you could see at that, it really doesn't take, it takes about a half a sheet of paper. And then along the way, I use a paintbrush, and I use this kind of glue. I use like book binding paper arts glue. So that kind of glue will not wrinkle your paper. It dries fast and strong and keeps things super smooth. So then basically then you cut that, and then this can be turned under, and I score these edges and then turn it under. And so here's a bigger one that I've started, and you could see I've got a pretty paper wrapped around it, and if I'm in my craft room and I'm just hunting around, what do I want to do? I might take a fun little button or something like this, a ribbon tie, and this could have lots of, I would probably use several different kinds of ribbon. And then to look more Valentine-ish, I would use this sort of lace, these little doily laces, and this is actually like to use on the bottom of a cake. So these are the little things that you put down and then put a cake on top. They're not actually little Valentine doilies, but they work kind of perfectly in something like this. So this is the start of it. Actually, this is the start of it. This is the next stage where the paper is on, and then I also put an inside, and then my next stage would be to decorate this and fill it with flowers or cookies or whatever my friend I think would like. So my last little gift idea is to take a pair of pajamas, and I do this often because I feel like you can't go wrong with pajamas. Doesn't everyone love pajamas? I love pajamas, so I think the whole world loves pajamas. But I found these cute pink and white striped pajamas with this little cat peeking out of the pocket, and he comes in a bag that has a cat on top too, so super adorable presentation. And then, so it's pants and a top, pajamas, and so these I'm giving to my daughters for Valentine's Day. And what I did to make them special is I embroidered on the bottom, on the cuff, I embroidered XOXO Love Mom. I put a little button on here, and I've got Mom on here, and I did it in a way where it's not for everyone else, but it's for them. As they're sitting in bed and reading or doing something, and they look down, the embroidery is on their arm, on their right hand, so they can be reminded, Mom loves you. Homeworthy, it's been so fun having you visit today and sharing my Valentine ideas with you. I hope your day is filled with love. Happy Valentine's Day.
Hi, I'm Terri Matthews, a servant leader, an entrepreneur, investor, mom and wife, and a lover of all things heart and home. I'm so excited to invite Homeworthy to discover my world here in Atlanta. From crafting dynamic decor to hosting unforgettable gatherings, I'll be sharing my favorite tips to make every space elevated. We'll also dive into fashion and entrepreneurship. We'll have heartfelt conversations with my friends and family who we're all just trying to live worthy lives. I can't wait to show you how I blend style and soul and a little bit of love into everyday life.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hey Homeworthy, welcome back to my home. I'm so excited to have you here. You get to meet my sister, and we're talking all about love today. Come on in so we can show you how we like to love. Homeworthy, it's Terri Matthews, and welcome back to my home here in Alpharetta, Georgia. I'm so excited that I get to sit on this sofa and introduce you to one of the first loves of my life, which happens to be my beautiful sister, Valerie. And I have some pop questions about love with her, and this is not prepped. I mean, we're so much alike. We picked the same outfit today, which was cream sweaters and jeans, had not spoken to each other. I was so glad she brought a second outfit. We would have been twinning.
Me too.
It's interesting. We're very similar, and we're also very opposite in a lot of ways. I'm the married one. She's the single one. She's single, y'all. I'm vetting potential opportunities.
Hey, and I'm finally open.
Well, you know what? I want to talk through just a little bit because, you know, you and I don't really believe in Valentine's Day per se.
Right.
I think you should show love all year long to the people that are in your life, whether you're married or it's your family or whatever else. But I know that we've made it this big, huge holiday. A lot of women get frustrated when they have a significant other that doesn't give them anything on Valentine's Day. Are you one of those people?
Is this a trick question?
You know I'm vetting. I got to get the right people
So,
to request.
you know, people like to see and receive love mirrored in the way that they give love. And I'm a very words of affirmation to my partner person. I'm a very gift-giving person. It makes me feel joy to give people things and to buy things for them.
Excuse me, ma'am. You didn't bring me no gift today.
So funny. I actually thought about bringing you something. But I really, truly love to give. And being such a giving person, I also like to receive.
Mm-hmm.
So if I wake up on Valentine's Day and there's absolutely nothing there, my feelings aren't going to be hurt because I know that you probably gave me something yesterday or the next day. It's coming.
I'll tell you, I think one of the things that as a married woman, right, I think initially, just like we talked about before, there was these expectations that because it was the holiday, that you're supposed to get something. And you know, when you're in elementary school, you used to get rose passed around in elementary school.
They come through with the little cards with a little candy attached to it, and you could buy it for your Valentine.
And I know that's elementary, but I think it puts a seed in us that we think that when Valentine's Day, we're supposed to get something. And when I had a reality to that fact of like, you know, love is all the time. I give, just like during the holidays, I don't wait till the holidays to give a specific gift. If it's on my heart, I give.
Pause. You're an amazing gift giver. I just want you to know. Let this woman go on a trip and come back. She's got something for you.
Thank you.
You're
for
awesome.
That. Thank you.
Yeah, seriously.
So the thing is that I think we get so upset in reference to if we don't receive anything. And I think maybe it's because of the comparison and competition we might feel.
Sure.
Because maybe Betty Sue got something and her husband came in with all these roses.
I mean, if you look on social media, you see these girls walk in and the whole room's decorated with rose petals and they've got, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of like bouquets, or they're hopping out of a plane and there's balloons and there's all this stuff. And I think that that's all to feed a false narrative. None of those things equal that you're loved.
At all. It's all material.
It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That's not what matters. Like when I talk about I'm going to get something the day before, the day after, it's the thoughtfulness and everything to me. Like I find value in, if you know what my favorite matcha drink is and you bring me that, I feel love.
That's me. And even down to my clothes, they smell amazing. You know my husband does the best laundry.
Oh, yeah, I do know that. I'm not expecting that. That's not what I need.
Well, I need it.
I know you do. And that's where we're different.
So the thing is that I think it's important that I feel the way that we've learned to even love each other and show our love to others. From our parents, we've gone through a lot of things, but I think we learned a lot of love for our parents. Our parents showed love even in their even in their deficits.
Sure.
Even in their hard moments, even through adversity, we had learned to show love. I remember serving the homeless and doing things, even though at one point in time we were all homeless. But the bottom line is, what I love is that we have that heart to continue to give back.
I think it's interesting that our mom always tries to say that she's more giving. And she always tries to compete for like who has the better heart, her or our dad. And I actually think back about times where my dad would like take in a homeless person and help and support them, or would pull over and look out for somebody or ask them what they needed. I didn't know that those were seeds that were being planted in me. Mm-hmm. And I also didn't know through our unfortunate circumstances or upbringing or hard times that we suffered, that it would give me such a heart and a passion for people and just to make sure that people have. So there's a couple of things I think that shaped my idea of love. And one of those I think is strong masculine alpha male energy. And I think that I saw that displayed in a way that there were roles in our home, like what women did versus what men did.
Even if at times it was crazy.
Even if at times I didn't understand why I had to do everyone's laundry. I do understand now that, and I am more traditional in those roles. And I just think that, society is changing and evolving, but I am still very traditional. I love cooking. I don't mind cleaning. Like these are things that are just a part of who I am, but I never want to pump my gas and I don't want to touch a trash bag.
Hey, any suitors out there? If you can pump gas and you gotta take out the trash,
good to go.
You might have an opportunity. Notice she didn't even say credit score or job.
That's a given. All right.
Before we get to build these baskets, if you had to define love today with life experiences, challenges, what you've learned, what you've had to unlearn. What would you say now love is?
Just reflecting for a moment, I would say that love has evolved and changed for me. When you grow up in a struggle, you think that financial stability equals wealth or equals love and equals, you know, those things are things that you look at because you didn't have it and you think that I'm gonna run in that direction. So for me, it was really important first to establish being successful. But I feel like that's what men do typically. They take the route of I'm going to be successful first and then I'm going to start my life. And what I realized is that I, you know, maybe overlooked certain things about love and didn't create space for love in my life. So I've learned that love shows up and manifests itself not necessarily just in the things around you in this storybook. For me, it's support. It's security, and security doesn't have to mean financial. So what's changed for me is I don't need the financial.
I ain't saying she a gold digger. No, not the Kanye line.
I don't need the financial support. I need emotional support. I need someone who respects my career and also like would be happy if I didn't do that, you know. But I'm also just. I seek love in a different way. There's a level of wholeness that I already have. So I'm looking for someone to complement that more so. I'm not looking for someone to fill in these cracks and these gaps of this brokenness. I had to heal. I had to do a lot of work on myself. So love to me today just looks so different. Love to me today is companionship. I don't know, I feel emotional, but it's having someone to do life with. Because I don't think that God placed us here to do life alone. And I think it took me a long time to realize, you know, I was so hyper independent and so like in my masculine energy of feeling like I needed to do and take care of. To me, love is just having somebody, you know, to lay my head on their shoulder and to tell them about what's going on with me and to receive for them and to be a conduit and a space for them to grow as well. So pouring into somebody and being poured into is just, I don't know, it's just my new idea of love. And I haven't experienced it yet, but I'm super hopeful. Why are you sad?
I mean, I'm not sad. I'm happy for you. I love the involvement. You know, you've always said you're the one who wants to get married. By the way, she's our third wheel. So usually
it's Terri, her husband, and me, and we're here, and I'm like, hey guys. Hey brother-in-law, I'm pulling up to watch the football game. I watch football, I'm into it. She watches it, but I'm into football.
Yeah.
I want to cook, I want to watch football, and that's not her jam, and that's okay. And
I want to cook.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody else might help with an order a week or two.
Yeah. I recently posted on social media, like, man, I just want somebody that I can talk to about football and not always have to call my brother-in-law. So we text and we talk before every game. And then like, if I need something moved in the house, I call my brother-in-law. If like I'm overwhelmed or too stressed, I call my brother-in-law. So it's like, you know what? I need my own husband.
I'll share that part of it.
Like, I need my own husband, girl. So, yeah, love is just different. I also think that when you have taken care of someone, some people are parents. At my age, there are a lot of people who are parents. There was a period of time where I exclusively had my niece living with me. And there was a level of selfishness that I had to kill. And there was a level of ego, because kids keep it real with you. Kids tell you the truth.
Oh, I know. I have 3 of them.
Yeah,
you forgot?
Yeah, they keep it real. They tell you that they'll humble you real quick.
Fast.
Like, is this good? Absolutely not. You know, do I look cute? No. So I think kids humble you, and then you learn to be selfless. You learn to not be selfish. You learn to share your space. That was huge for me. Yeah. Sharing my space, I thought, man.
I've been sharing my space with you my whole life, so I'm used to it.
I get it, but in my adult life, sharing my space was something that was really hard for me to overcome, and having someone live in my home and like tear it up to shreds and like be like, okay, I'll figure it out, I'll fix it. You know, it's just things, just let it go. I've just evolved so much in that respect. So love looks totally different to me today. Had you even asked me 2 years ago, love would have looked different at that time.
I'm so proud of you.
I've arrived.
Girl, you have arrived.
I'm just kidding.
I'm waiting for the Lord just to float your prince on through here on a piece of cotton or something.
Yeah.
Cloud.
Please bring him. But you didn't say.
What?
You know, I gave the single woman's, like, just my own perspective. Honestly, I'm not speaking for all the single ladies. I'm just talking for me. But you didn't say from your marriage perspective about Valentine's Day. You said, no, it's not a big deal to receive gifts, but is there anything within you that feels like you wake up and you just, on that day, do you feel any type of way if you don't have flowers or stuff like that?
I really don't. And the reason why is because, especially when you have seen people in your life pass or go through certain situations, what I did not learn, or what I've had to learn over the years, is to learn to be present and take advantage of every moment. And I think very similar, the adversities in our life, the grit and resistance that has created resilience in each of us. I think, though, a lot of times I've spent a ton of my time not being present, because I was always in the hustle. You know, as an entrepreneur,
Sure.
You know, you in the very beginning, you're everything in that business. And then even as you build that business, you're the CEO, you're leading a variety of people, and you're co-managing everything else in life. And I realized that there was a great portion of my life that I wasn't as present as I would like to be. I was physically there, but mentally handling a lot of things. And how does that relate to love? I think the most valuable thing you can give to somebody is your presence and your time.
Yeah.
And so in this season of my life, I don't want to wait for a specific day. We're not even promised tomorrow.
Ooh, so
I want
good.
to be able to be present at that moment and value that person at that moment. I want to know that should whoever that be, my husband, my children, my family, my friends, people that God has placed in my circle, if they're no longer around, you know, did I give them everything in that moment, versus saying I should have spent time, or I should have listened while they were trying to talk to me and I was on the computer or looking through my text message. So for me, love at this moment is valuing the time that they've given and being present and respecting them with my presence. So it's a lot different.
That's
so
why
good.
I put my That's phone beautiful. You know what's something that our family does that not everyone does?
The phone's in the center of the table?
No.
What?
Even smaller. But like something that our family does that other families don't always do. We say I love you every single time we hang up the phone.
Oh, yeah.
And if somebody hangs up and doesn't say I love you, the other person calls them back. It's like, wait, I meant to say it. I meant to tell you I love you. And it started with my father. There wasn't a moment that my dad didn't say I love you. He could be mad, I could be in trouble, it could be anything going on in the world. He would say, come give me a hug, I love you. Right after getting disciplined, come give me a hug, I love you. And so there's a level of like just expressing our love that we have that a lot of people think is strange.
Yeah.
I thought all families did that.
And it's hard for them to receive it. They don't necessarily understand it.
I've hugged people and they've said,
whoa,
I'm so uncomfortable getting a hug. You always hug me. I didn't know that people didn't express their love as frequently or as passionately as we do as a family. And I could say that's something that I honestly appreciate so much.
So if you're not out there hugging and loving, get comfortable with it, because some people are just completely uncomfortable. And everybody's love language is different. You don't necessarily have to be like us. But what I can appreciate is we never leave a situation where we don't consistently remind each other. And that loving embrace is just confirmation, regardless of whatever the situation is. We don't always have to agree. But we have to agree that we love one another.
Facts.
Yeah, so that's good.
Okay.
Well, God taught us a lot about love, girl.
Well, God has taught me everything about love. If you really think about it, when I talk about this evolution, and I'm sorry, this is not a preaching show, this is Homeworthy. But when I talk about this personal journey that I've been on, forgiveness and healing, I've had my heart broken on more than one occasion. If I'm being not just transparent is telling the truth. Vulnerability is telling you my feelings, okay? If I'm being vulnerable, I've had my heart broken on multiple occasions. And forgiveness is not just forgiving in that one time. You gotta think about it. We're talking about love. We're talking about love right now. You guys have to think. There are so many people who've been hurt and wronged that they don't have the capacity, or they think they don't, to love.
That's right.
But what God
or
has
they
taught
carry the issue of the person who hurt them into certain other situations that they realize they haven't.
So you know where I'm going? Forgiveness.
Yeah.
Forgiveness has been the pathway for me to love as hard as I do. And I can love over and over and over again vulnerability coupled with forgiveness. And it's not just for the one transgression, it's every time you remember.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
And you know what? For me, it was even, I had to stretch all the way back to our family roots. Again, parents, I believe, you know,
Everybody's doing the best they can with the
what
information they have at that moment.
That's right.
That's what parents are doing.
That's
All
what parents are doing, including me.
Right.
So the thing about it is that I had to reach all the way back to that, because I also had to understand, where did my idea of love come from?
Yeah.
Just like I said, oh, we got passed roses around. We got those little, I remember the dipping sticks in classroom or with a note. Like, society tells us, right, society tells us what love is. And then when I got clear and understood what love was and how I also wanted to give love and receive love, it helped a lot in a lot of areas. But healing is going to be the key, and forgiveness is going to be the key. You have to start there so that you don't carry all of that junk with you and it impacts other people. So I'm excited for us to build these blessing bags.
Me too.
I got to tell you,
What?
girl, not everything came. Some stuff's going to be coming at 5 o'clock tonight, but
we'll get them started.
So we're excited to share our blessing bags, also known as blessing baskets, activity with you. It's something my sister and I both love to do, and we have done when we've lived close together, we've done when we've lived far apart, and we both started for different reasons. So many of these blessing bags or baskets that we've put together typically has come from, in my space, at times being homeless and handed actually a bag, being in food bank lines or being in places where there were specific things that I needed. These bags were loaded. Now, I was a kid, so oftentimes there were lots of kid things in those bags, and so that made me excited. And then when I've seen people that were homeless and didn't have specific things, just the visionary and creative person that I am, I thought there has to be a way to continue to bless people that might be living on the streets, walking through hard times. And so I got more creative about what should actually go in a bag that would change somebody's life. And it's a great team activity as well. So I've, with my employees, we would assemble a ton of items and put them together and then carry baskets out or bags. And when we'd see people, we'd pop out and bless their lives with it. And there's cool things that come with this. But before I tell you what was in our blessing bags or what will be in today, I want to know, V, how'd you get started with blessing bags?
Oh, awesome. So I have a friend named AJ Rolon out of Los Angeles, and he started what's called #lunchbag. And so I remember when we were little, getting a little personal, we used to go to a place called Arroyo Park.
Yeah,
Arroyo Park was in East Oakland, California, and we would
Shout
go.
out to Arroyo.
For
They
sure.
fed us.
They fed us. So we had free lunch at that park, and so I was really inspired by the fact that there was always somewhere we went during the summertime and we got free lunch and we had a good time while we were there. And so I was working under #lunchbag as a volunteer. I started a chapter in Oakland, California, and our first event kicked off in August of 2014 at Arroyo Park.
Well, and you know, I just got to parenthetically pause. Arroyo Park brings a ton of memories. But I remember getting in trouble because your behind slipped and fell in the creek at the park.
I had on a white dress and we weren't supposed to go to the creek. Well, I wasn't supposed to be in the creek, but I love catching tadpoles. That was my jam.
We would catch tadpoles, and we were not supposed to be in the creek, and we'd hop over tires or whatever was thrown in
all kinds of stuff.
And we'd catch tadpoles, and she slipped and fell, and I couldn't get her air dried before it was time to get home, so I really got in trouble. But the other part is that's actually where I discovered also my love for homes. When I was looking back and I think about the times or reasons why I love homes, I built my first Barbie doll house there. And remember I was telling you, Barbie wasn't tall. She was too tall.
She was too tall. She
Her
couldn't
neck,
fit in the house.
Her neck had to be like crooked over. And but anyway, that tells me that I should have been in homes a long time ago.
Yeah.
With that said, I want to show you what's on the table. There are a lot of things here. There's some items that we are waiting on Amazon to deliver.
Yeah.
And so that is going to be all of your toiletry items, because in these, the one thing that we want to provide are toiletry items, just in case people have access to showers. We've known people to be homeless and actually pay for a gym membership so that they can go and take a shower. I also want to make sure that we knock off the stereotype on everybody who's homeless, because there's this idea that everybody's on drugs and not educated, and that can't be far from the truth. Some places the rent is just super expensive. I've met women who are making $65,000 a year and homeless.
For sure.
Simply just because they can't afford rent, or rent in their area is too high, whatever the situation is. And so in this, we try to think about all the areas. Sometimes we are going to very impoverished areas, and sometimes we're just going to areas where people have serious need. Really? And everything on here fits all of those scenarios.
Sure.
So we do everything from perishable snacks. We actually have, if you don't have a gym membership, we have body wipes. My sister and I bought the same thing and didn't communicate to each other. 20.
Disposable washcloths.
Disposable washcloths,
Yeah.
That's right. Everything from stuff for your teeth. You know, everybody wants to floss and brush. Don't assume that people don't want these things or need these things. They do.
For sure.
And it makes it more difficult if you don't have a bathroom to actually store them. Think about people who are out in the cold. Snacks like this, they're non-perishable snacks. Places where they can get hot water, like Starbucks, it's free. McDonald's, it's free. So these cool things where they can actually mix and make their own oatmeal. The weather's been super crazy outside. So hand warmers, foot warmers.
For sure. You even have socks to put them in. You actually have socks here. You have these.
Socks.
These are like mittens that go all the way up your arm. In addition to gloves, I see you have a hats, and also a snood. I love a snood.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, it's called a snood. It goes around your neck and it keeps you nice and warm.
I've never seen you wear a snood.
Well, mine is like a faux fur snood, and I do have one. I think about also, I know we're talking about homeless and just people who are, disenfranchised, but I think one thing to also consider right now are the people for the wildfires in Los Angeles.
Absolutely.
So these are people who you think just because they have $1 million homes that they're not in need. These people are desperately in need right now.
Desperately.
There's a community, Altadena, where most of the people are, who've perished from the fire or experiencing extreme difficulty, and there are a lot of older people.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just things to consider, what family sizes they have, different things. So I intend to do this on a larger scale for those people. I've donated, I've done everything, but this is really important if there are specific needs that people are asking for. So.
And I will say, too, the one thing that we've learned, even with that, because we've also had friends impacted by that fire, they've lost absolutely everything. The only thing that they had was their clothes on their back. And we've actually been impacted not only by Los Angeles fires, but Maui fires as well. So even with that, when someone loses everything, don't assume just because they have money. Actually, just encouraging someone and being willing to send, you would be shocked at the amount of tears or how encouraged people are. So even in that, we do things like this. My sister bought a more fancier card than me. But we take time in every single blessing basket and blessing bag, even on #lunchbag, which I did on the East Coast and she did on the West Coast, we would write notes in every single one. I think a life-changing story. Once you do certain things for a while, not that you're looking for someone to say, oh, well done, good job, or anything like that. You're not looking for anything in return. But after a while, sometimes volunteering, it can become numbing. And in one incident, people were like late coming to assemble stuff. And before everybody be excited and be there 15 minutes early. And then I remember this one season after years of doing it with the staff, people would kind of come in a little bit later and just kind of be like, okay, they weren't as enthusiastic as they used to be. They wrote a letter, and for the first time, the church that we used to give these bags to as well, one woman was going to commit suicide. And here she was, an MBA, could not find a job for over a year, ended up losing her home, went through tons of challenges, very smart woman, and she said she just wasn't worth it anymore and it wasn't worth living. She literally read the card, and we knew exactly in the office who wrote it.
Sure.
And the church called and said, this woman actually wrote a suicide note and said this was going to be her last meal. She picked up her last meal, which were the meals and the lunch bags and stuff that we pre-prepped and put and gave to the church. And when they called us, it changed the enthusiasm back in the office. It was like, what we're doing does matter. Because sometimes you don't see the end result.
That's right.
It is worth it. So I encourage you, take the time, a handwritten note, write something that's encouraging, and you never know who's on the receiving end of that and how you're changing their lives. I throw journals in there. I'm blessed to be able to give this journal that I wrote. It's called I Will. It's a 30-day journal of faith and transformation. But basically, it's changing your language from I can to I will. We know that you can do it. The question is, will you? And when you're in a tough set of circumstances, there's a lot of things when you self-reflect or go through things in reference to encouraging you. We can't give out anything without giving out a Bible.
I mean, we could. So hashtag lunch bag, I didn't give out Bibles at that time, but as I've evolved in my journey, I do tend to give out things that are going to be encouraging and motivating and uplifting. When somebody's in desperate times, sometimes I remember my uncle, he's a deacon at a church, and he actually, I said, Uncle, go minister to those people. He said, girl, they want a sandwich. You know, my ministry is the act of love that I'm performing and the thing that I'm doing. And so I just, you know, I ask everybody, if you're going to get into this or you're going to do it, just do it from your heart. Do what feels right for you. Do what feels good, and do it with love, because that's what this is all about.
Right. And love is the greatest commandment. Well, with that being said, we also throw things in there. We don't want anybody's mind bored, and sometimes taking your mind off of the things that you're experiencing or going through. So we throw things in there, planners, inspirational word finds, crossword puzzles, fill in the numbers. Even our pens have very encouraging words on there, like just to kind of keep people motivated. And again, lots of snacks. We're blessed to be able not only to give away socks and hats and those types of things, but even a sweatshirt. This one says prayer is a lifestyle. Of course, I got to give credit and glory to God, because, you know, he certainly found me. And so what I love about this is we just give an extra large size. And I think it's fashionable for women to wear extra large size sweatshirts anyway.
Love it, oversized.
So whether if it goes to a man or a woman, it's beneficial. So what we typically do is we take a bag like this, or we take a basket, even blankets, and we fill it with a couple of, first of all, a set of all the things, and then we stuff it with additional stacks. We write a note, and that's our way of blessing someone else. That's how we show love.
Yeah.
Love in action. So
I'm going to start with my wipes. I'll take my Bible. Oh, okay. We'll do it together.
Yeah. So I will do that, and we'll do, you did wipes already?
Yep. Both types, hand wipes and also. This person's going to be the most loved person. Look at all this love.
Hand warmers, foot warmers.
For sure. Books.
Now your nephew dug into the Slim Jims. He calls himself blessing his coach.
Look, that's okay. I got separate ones. I bought some separate ones.
It's okay. They're closed. They're individual. There you go.
This is huge.
Did we do fruit snacks?
No, fruit snacks, mints.
Yep. Oh, let's get some of these mints in here. Tissues. These are very good. Tissues, toothbrush, toothpaste, mints, because maybe you're not always in a position or you want to freshen your breath right away. So we just kind of drop those mints too in there. And the good thing is, I love this water bottle. This is something my sister does, which I absolutely love, because you can always fill up your water bottle. You can stop at places, they'll fill up the water bottle. And now they're even installing water bottles or water places in parks and things like that.
Max this one out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who would not want to receive such a huge blessing with all these items in it? Whether you're just upon hard times, you don't have to be homeless to be blessed.
So typically when we are doing the smaller bags with just food, it usually is some piece of fruit, some non-perishable items, chips, sandwiches, cookies, different types of drinks, and still a word of encouragement. We hand those lunch bags out, and we'll start at least 100. So we assemble all of the stuff together, and there's stations put together for everybody to do this together. It's a great activity to do with your family. It definitely teaches love and generosity for others. It's a great activity to do with your team. So if you're an entrepreneur or you employ people in some sort of capacity, maybe you're a team leader, it's a great activity to do together. When we do blessing baskets or bags, because there's so much stuff in them, we typically do 50. We'll start out with 50, but depending upon how large the group size is and how many people are coming along, there's so much stuff that we're able to put in these blessing bags, and it too is a great activity to do with team and family. So yeah, I love this part. I'm like, girl, I want one of these bags. I've said that before. I'm like, I want one of these bags. So in this bag, we're doing the same thing. We have a Bible, a word of encouragement, a pen to write in your book, hats, socks, body wipes in the event that you can't get to a shower,
And there's tissues that we put in there. My sister, this
I'm
is
all
her
about
inner
the protein.
soul.
I got protein, protein. I can't eat the meat, but it's protein. I'm still loving it. Lots of protein. Like what? You have a full meal
sweatshirt.
almost here. Yes, sweatshirt, snacks. Did you get some hand warmers?
Nope, hand warmers.
Go ahead, get hand warmers and feet warmers. It is freezing outside.
Okay, so let me see this.
Some
And then
mints.
potato chips.
Yeah, for sure. A little snack pack. I try to put the stuff that's gonna break towards the top. There you go. Look at this. This is huge. All right. So this is why you make 50 of these, but I think it also depends on the level of donation that you have.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm receiving donations, I can make, with more, you can do more. So there's that.
So listen, there's no excuse why you can't show love, and this is love in action. And I'm so happy that I do this on a regular basis with somebody that I love.
I love you.
I love you. Y'all need to hug. I think they say that hugging for 5, it's either 2 or 5 minutes.
3 people a day is what it is.
What statistic is this?
You hug 3 people a day.
Girl, listen, if you hug at
Google
least
it.
30 seconds, it's supposed to release endorphins, soothe you, and bring you out of certain types of moods.
Stress.
Yeah.
It's supposed to reduce your stress.
But it doesn't have to be 3 people there, so I gotta hug you 3 times.
All right, let's go. That's 2. I love you.
I really love you.
I love you.
You're an amazing woman.
You are too, girl.
Yes.
Thanks for watching. Go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content and shopping guides.